Oh, no! We suck again!
Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs?
This is a Kmart production brought to you by Doug's Chiropractic and Empire Towing and Recovery.
Listener's discretion is advised. Sawbills Podcast.
Welcome to Zob Bills Podcast. If this is your first time, we discuss the Bills games while we review two different Buffalo pizzas. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the big show.
All right, folks, welcome to episode 21 of the Zob Bills Podcast, brought to you from Tonawanda, New York. We're all kind of shoveled out by now, so except for maybe Dennis, right? Are you?
We're good. We're good. We're getting there. It'll be nice and warm, 40 degrees the next couple of days, so it'll melt a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but then we get that fucking bullshit snow rain crap that clogs up the snowblower if you don't have that auger chute lined up right.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about?
No good.
All right.
Some good flooding too, I'm sure, but
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so I love the sound bit when I start to introduce the people at the table.
How many assholes we got on this ship anyhow? Yo! I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes.
All right, folks, you heard from Dennis first. How you been? It's been 2 weeks, you said? 2 episodes you've been absent?
Yeah, a couple of episodes. A little sick there for a little while, and then the snow got us pretty good.
Fucking snow.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. What's new with you?
Not too much, really. Just digging out. Glad to not, be under snow anymore. So it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's kind of hard to talk about anything but the Bills and pizza, I guess, at this point. But, things are good.
The show will go on.
It will.
All right.
Well, the fans missed you, Dennis. Welcome back.
Yes.
Thanks. I missed that too.
All right, Brendan, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. What's new and exciting with the travel hockey or anything?
Oh, not
Baseball
too much.
starting up yet?
Not too much. Just indoor practices for now. But, that's ramping up, and it'll be here before you know it.
Over the weekend, I traveled out to Rochester. I visited both nieces had a soccer game at TSC on Elm Grove in Rochester. It's some real nice soccer complex that also does box lacrosse and like baseball and stuff in there. It was pretty cool. And then the next one was a basketball game it looked like Milshire that got turned into like these basketball courts. Rough. They charged $5 an adult and $2 for a kid to come in and watch like 10U CYO basketball. I was like, what?
That's when you say, I'm a coach.
Well, my brother-in-law is a coach, and I said I had to pay $17 for 3 of us or 4 of us, and he goes, "Oh, just tell me you're a coach." I'm like, "All right, well, next time." So
Find the back door,
or the back door, folks. We have a new guest at the opposite end of the octagon, Brian. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I guess we'll come right out. You are the Bills net man.
He's coming out.
That's correct. Yes.
What end are you at?
Scoreboard.
Scoreboard end. Okay.
Started at the scoreboard. Always at the scoreboard.
All right. Do you want to tell us how you came into that position?
Sure. Family friend gave us a tour of the stadium renovations. Who was the stadium operations director, Joe Frandina, and back in '99, this was. Gave us a tour, and my dad had an idea that some positions were open, and he kept me. He's like, ask him. I'm like, yeah, I will, Dad. After the tour, I said, hey, Mr. Frandina, if there's any positions available, keep me in mind. He's like, yeah, I'll keep you in mind. I'll have my secretary call you, maybe fill out the application. And 2 weeks later, they called and said, we got a job. Do you want it? I couldn't get the answer out before he said he got the question out. I said yes. Took the job, and I've been doing it ever since.
No kidding.
Wow.
How many years now?
This was just my 25th season, which is
wow.
That's crazy.
Wow.
All right.
Every game.
Every home game.
Yeah.
I missed 4 games. 3 of them were for weddings. My best friend got married in Monterrey, Mexico. It was a New England game. 31-0. Good game. I'm watching it in Monterrey, Mexico, hungover as hell.
Wait, is that the Sam Adams game?
Yes, the Sam Adams game.
Oh, man.
And I was just happy that it's the Patriots. They're beating Brady, but I'm like, I wish I was there. But
yeah.
I was at his wedding, and we had a great time. Second one was my wedding.
Okay.
We were It was a 6-3 Cleveland game.
Oh,
So
God.
that was a good game to miss.
Yeah.
It was 2009. Other one was my brother's rehearsal dinner, Miami Thursday night game in like 2012. And then I missed a game against Indy when we got our butts kicked because I had COVID.
Oh, was that the rain game?
Yep, the rain game. I'm watching that game in my garage, and just it didn't look good from the start. I'm like, well, that was a good game to miss.
So your career really spanned the most recent playoffs from pre-drought to all the way through the drought to now.
My first year was home run throw forward. So everyone was like, "Oh, you're the jinx." I'm like, "No, they made the playoffs my first year." And then after that was the 17-year drought, which was just I'm always grateful of that job, but going to work some of those games and just our end zone was full of the away fans like every game, and just seeing them partying it up, whooping it up, and it just became real old. So I'm enjoying this current Bills team the last 6-7 years, and not seeing too many away fans doing that anymore.
Yeah,
No doubt. That's awesome.
How is your view from where you are?
I like the view from where I am, but sometimes it's obstructed. Like
Yep.
I'm trying to think what happened. I was thinking about this the other day. There's a play. I think I raised the right rope closer to the Bills sideline. So if a play happens, and I got to be close to my rope. If a play happens to my left, I'm watching a play, and all of a sudden I'm looking at the upright, the pad for the upright, so it gets obstructed. But other than that, it's a great view.
Yeah, I'm definitely envious.
Have you ever had any player interaction? Opposing team, Bills team, celebration, you find yourself in the middle of one?
Yeah, this past the game against the Giants, Taron Johnson broke up the play that passed to Waller, and we won it on that play. I didn't see Taron's hand. That might have been giving him a little pull there, but I knew we won. It was a close game, and I'm just sitting there saying, "Let's go." I might have threw a F-bomb in there too, but
I saw you on TV.
Yeah, Jeff, my phone was blowing up with screenshots, and
That's awesome.
I mean, I grew up a Bills fan. I'm a diehard Bills fan, and I'm lucky enough to work on the field, and my emotions are going to get the best of me. Just celebrate.
How could they not? I mean, that's great.
Yeah.
Every game we see you, Brindley's like, "Where's Brian? Where's Brian?"
Have you ever been one of those guys that gets rolled up on, like the play goes out of bounds?
I give those security guards tons of credit because they're there to watch the fans.
Yeah.
And sometimes I've seen it happen where I think Lee Evans caught a guy and broke his leg because they're doing their job watching the fans, and they don't have any idea that the player's going to come rolling up on them.
Yeah.
But there's been close times, but I get out of the way, or sometimes you got to watch out for overthrows in the end zone or whatever. But I think I caught Peterman's ball one time.
Oh,
so did everybody else on the other team. Though.
I was going to say it makes sense that it was an overthrow.
All right. Well, next we have another special guest, long-time listener, first-time parents, Jeff.
You called me last week, so I was on for about 11 minutes, and
now
I'm here now. So I appreciate it, guys.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Anything new you want to talk about here?
Just busy with the kids and soccer and basketball, and that's pretty much my life.
Yeah, I still
that's a lot of ours.
I still think I need to get investors for this kids Uber. I think that could be a gold mine.
That's a good idea.
I think it could be a gold mine. But all right, and then everybody's favorite Bruins fan on the show.
I'm here, Kyle. I'm
know.
here as I told Kyle this. I tried.
You always got my blind side here.
I got your blind side. Nothing's coming this way. I actually tried to bow out. Believe it or not, I tried to basically sit this one out.
Tonight?
I did.
Why?
I told you this one. I wanted to tag in my wife, who has been.
Oh, no. You didn't tell me that. You were going to get her here?
Yes. I tried.
I thought you were talking about flip-flopping who's getting the kid from bowling.
No. I pulled it. I sat there and I said, listen, honey, you need this more than I do right now because she's really struggling. Really struggling. Like, up all night, pacing the floors, please Josh Allen, doing the Josh Allen prayers. I said, it's really good meditation to talk this stuff out. I said, How cool would it be if all of a sudden, Kyle's studio, you come walking down the stairs, you take the spot. I said, you need this more than I do right now. She's like, absolutely not. I said, well, okay, well, I'm here. So I tried to give up my spot for a diehard Bills fan who really wanted them to win it all, and it's going to be a tough off season, but we'll get through, Kyle. We'll get through.
All right.
That was 2 weeks in a row because last week you said you didn't want to come in either.
Yes, I was going to bow out too.
You were.
I was.
You
I'm like,
more
Dennis's
like
excuse sounds good. I'm like, it's too snowy here, Kyle, and he's like, get over here. I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, you can't miss the show.
You can't miss the show, Kyle. What's going on with
The
you?
show needs you. Not a whole lot. Went to Rochester this past weekend.
How's the new job?
New job is going pretty good. Had a meeting, met a couple new guys today down in Springville. Had a new pizza for lunch down there. Tim, I believe it was Tim and Bonnie's.
Okay.
They got 4 locations, Springville, Gowanda, somewhere else.
How was it?
It was all right. Sheet pizza, double pepperoni. So it was like 8 pieces of pepperoni per slice instead of 4, I guess, which is whatever. It's one of those things where
like a square slice, like a sheet piece of slice.
Yeah, so it looked like they put like a jig down and they just throw the pepperoni on and then they pull it up and whatever falls, it was like perfectly lined up. It was like, oh, okay. But it was all right. Sauce was, less than thrilling, but.
Did you go all pizza snob and actually count the pepperonis?
The one guy, no, but the one guy next to me who knows I do the podcast, he's like nudged me. He goes, so how would you rate this? I was like, it's all right. But no, other than that, like Jeff said, just carting around kids and
doing the dad thing.
Got to figure out what to do on my Sundays and Thursdays and Monday nights, and I guess we'll just have to fill the time with pods.
That's right.
So, okay, tonight we have for pizza we have Avenue Pizza on Hurdle. What's that near, Brendan?
It's right near the corner of Delaware and Hurdle.
Delaware and Hurdle.
Yeah, it's like that Burger King's right there on the corner.
Yeah.
Across the street.
It's across the street.
Kmart used
On
to be
Hurdle.
on Delaware in that plaza.
Oh, it's that way.
Yeah.
So it's west on Hurdle of Delaware.
East.
East?
It's on Hurdle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on Hurdle.
Isn't the
east of
Italian
Other way.
Isn't the Italian church something on the corner of Hurdle and Delaware
Italian
Avenue?
festival?
No,
that actually, that
what's
big
right there
Italian
is like there's like a library there.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Pizza and library. Okay.
Fright World. You know where Fright World is?
Yeah.
Right there.
Is that the only location?
For Avenue Catering
Avenue,
and
yes.
something?
But you know what's funny about that is that I was pulling it up in my phone to be like, hey, this like make sure I'm like going like the best way because I know which route to go to hit both of them, which was stupid because they're really close to each other. And I just looked it up in my phone and it immediately hit me up with a different Avenue Pizza out by like the 33 or something like that. And I was like, I'd never heard of that one. So there's some other Avenue out there, and
All right, well,
I don't know.
Can't
Maybe
be
it's
imposters.
Vegas, maybe.
Second, and then the second location is Mike Subs, right? Is that just a name? Mike Subs and
Mike Subs, not Mike Pizza and Subs.
Just
which
Mike
we're probably
Subs.
gonna find out.
Shout out for actually having online ordering option because we called Daddy-O's for about 15 minutes straight with no answer. So guess what? You don't get on the pod. Dennis, why don't you start us off with your reviews?
All right, so I think that both of them were pretty decent. I've had Avenue quite a bit, and it was I think the same kind of pie every time. I think I'm in the minority. Maybe we'll see. I liked Mike's better. It was thinner, which I didn't like, but the oregano was good. It was a little not spicy, but it had just a little bit of taste to it. So it was good, and of course the triangles, everything looked very symmetrical. That's big to me. If people didn't know, it is. So it was nice.
You heard last week, right?
I did.
Who was it that gave us?
Yeah.
No, which pizza was it that was circular and then cut into squares?
It wasn't Crosby's. It was Mister.
Oh, okay, Mister.
I think Crosby's.
That's
has
why it
triangles.
tasted funky, Devin.
Yeah.
Because of the shapes.
Yeah, Mister was a
All right,
circle cut into squares.
sorry to interrupt, Dennis.
No, I was pretty much done. I mean, Avenue is one I've had quite a bit, and I like it.
Why have you had Avenue?
My mother-in-law lives not too far from there.
Oh, okay.
So
was it on par for what you usually have?
It's pretty much always it's reliable, which I like. As we've talked about, the Abbott Pizza, that's the reliable thing for me where I live. And so yeah, Avenue was good as well, but Mike's was a little bit better.
Okay. Brendan, Sean. Brendan.
Yeah, there you go. For me, they're both decent looking pies. Both, I thought they had great pepperoni on both of them. Both good cup and chars. A little greasier on the Mike's than the Avenue, but for my taste, I liked the Avenue better. It was a thicker piece. I liked the cook a little better. It kind of held up on its own. Mike's had a little bit of a flop to it, a little kind of greasy to me. And also the Mike's, I didn't really taste any sauce. I tasted bread, I tasted cheese, I tasted pepperoni, just no sauce really in there. And I really liked the Avenue sauce. I thought it all came together really nicely. I thought the crust on the Avenue was also very good. It kind of had like a little sheen to it, which I kind of liked. I don't know if they put like some butter on there, some who knows what it is, but just looked appealing to me, and it tasted good. Nice crunch. Yep. So for me, it's Avenue.
Okay. All right. Brian, first-time reviewer.
Yeah.
You love pizza, I assume, right?
I do like pizza.
All right. Let's hear what you thought of it.
Across a pizza I don't like.
It's
first time having both.
Okay.
So
he probably has.
I have to agree with Brendan that on the Mike's, it was good pizza, but lacking sauce. I got to have sauce. And you said it was sweet sauce, and I was excited, but I think they just didn't put enough in that ladle and spin it around there or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe I would have enjoyed it a little more. But pepperoni was good. I like the burnt ends on the pepperoni. That was good. But yeah, I like Avenue better. I enjoyed that. Sweeter sauce, more sauce, burnt end on the pepperoni, and good crust.
Okay.
So.
All right, Jeff. Let's hear it. The man who's always in my ear about pizza at these games.
You're getting to live the dream right now.
Yeah, this is your time to shine.
No, you told me you were getting Lockport pizza. I don't know. I was a little disappointed.
No. Next one.
That's all right. I thought the Mike's didn't have a lot of flavor. I was agreeing with Brendan and Brian. You said sweet sauce. I didn't think there was any sweet sauce at all.
The website said Mike's sweet sauce.
I didn't even taste any sweetness whatsoever. I mean, it was all right. Like, it's a decent pizza. It's not something I probably would order. Avenue I liked. I liked the thicker pizza. I liked the pepperoni better. I like it a little more sloppy, like you do.
Yeah.
And I like the pepperoni to me was a little better and was a little cooked better, and I thought the crust was better also. I like Avenue.
All right.
Better.
He's definitely a listener. He's hitting the keywords.
He is. He's a loyal follower. We're glad to have him. I'm going to second Brendan. I'm going to second.
There you go, Steph. He's listening, Steph.
I'm going to go with Avenue as well. You know what? The sauces were good. I totally understand what you guys are saying about the lack of sauce. It didn't really do a whole lot to diminish it. I like the crust a lot. I don't know. I'm not a crust guy. I'm more of a sauce guy. It was a bit thicker. Mike, you know what? Just so you know, value pack, it's always there. Mike, subs,
Yep.
Pizza, very good. For being known for a sub shop, their pizza was, I think, above average, better than expected. But when everything is said and done, my vote's going to go to Avenue. Sauce, thickness, crust, it gets my vote. 3-2, I think we're at, right? 3-2?
No,
I think I'm only down
1, 2, 3. That's 4.
Ooh.
It's 4. All right. I have not had either of these pizzas before. They had both cup and char. They had a similar crust to me. If I was going to say that I liked Mike's better because I thought the flavor on the pepperonis were better. And then obviously they no one mentioned it yet, but I think maybe with the sauce or lack of sauce added herbs on there, or oregano probably, right? Or pizza seasoning. I did like it initially, but I think I'm going to go with the Avenue just because the Mike's, I wish if the Mike's was cooked a little bit more on the bottom, I think it would have held up a little bit better. I think it was too soft on the belly.
Definitely floppy.
Yeah, it was floppier. It was a good pizza, though. And the prices were very similar. So, I mean.
What were the prices?
Like $28 a piece. Somewhere in that range. I could look a little bit later, but yeah. Speaking of pizza, though, before. So, okay, I'm going to go with the Avenue just because it's thicker. But
it's not 5-1, but Mike's wasn't as bad as where, you.
No.
I think we would recommend both slices. I think both pizza places, again, do a great job of representing Western New York pizza. They're both really good. I think just Avenue had a little bit more. It was a close match. It was closer than the score reveals.
It was almost like Mike's could have fell into like one of the a New York category, just how thin it was.
Yeah,
It was that thing.
But then again, like I said, it was a decent pizza. If they would have cooked the bottom a little bit more, like it was almost softer than bocce that one night we had it, a little bit softer.
Oh yeah.
And that was at the time one of the softer ones we've had. So
Bocce a little thicker.
yeah.
So I guess I'm the only oddball here, but I think that it was.
I was siding with it, and then I went the other direction. I think peer pressure.
I was going to say.
Oh, there you go. You can't cave in, man. Can't cave in.
Well, we know Kyle likes a sloppy slice.
I do like a sloppy slice, and everyone was nice enough to let me have the largest Avenue slice, which made it extra sloppy because I know how you kids like it. Extra
I think that's a
sloppy.
sound like you got to get.
I
know how you boys like them.
Yeah,
sloppy.
we should put that in there. Okay, all right. We should get these kids down.
You know,
here and tell
I
us.
think I noticed something about how I am grading these pizzas myself, and it's not something I noticed till just now.
Are you growing as a human?
Not at
Expanding?
all.
Oh.
Well, I'm expanding, unfortunately. But not the best way.
I didn't mean like that.
We all are.
I've noticed that I am having pizzas that I've had before, and I'm usually picking the opposite pizza. So, like, I did it with Imperial, and I did it with Wise Guys. I did it with the Avenue I've had plenty of times. And so all those pizzas are pizzas that I like generally.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty much, you get what you get. Like, it's pretty much always the same.
Yeah.
But I've noticed that's what I've been doing. I didn't find that out until just now, but something to look out for season 2.
Okay, so
It is
we're
something to note. That's for sure.
so we're
Interesting,
gonna
like,
have to have this
psychological thing.
Abbott pizza here that you always keep having down
Oh
there.
yeah. One of the days where
You're
the
off.
pod's on a Monday or something.
Yeah.
Then we'll do it.
All right, so we're gonna mark this down, and then why don't we? I guess we'll go right into football.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
I thought you might be playing like taps or something.
Yeah, the Undertaker's theme song.
Taps, Undertaker.
Undertaker's theme song, Bury this season.
All right, so we'll start off with this. This is the Korean news feed.
그렇기 때문에 조시 앨런 선수가 오른쪽으로 나오면서 시간을 벌어봤지만 오픈된 리시버를 찾을 수 없었습니다. 44야드 거리입니다. 타일러 베스.
Tyler Bass.
오른쪽으로 벗어났어요.
Wait, is that Jim Nance?
Oh my God!
I thought I heard Romo.
Oh God!
Oh.
Okay, so
Do you want to explain what that was? What they were?
everyone, that was the Korean news coverage of Tyler Bass unfortunately going wide right. Do we want to start there? Do we want to start somewhere else, or just hit it because we're there?
I mean, I'm ready to go out wide right.
Go ahead.
I mean,
Go ahead.
you know, I really got the feels, I got to be honest. So the wide right happened, and I just put my head in my hands. I could not believe it. And I probably had a few choice words to say. Might have had an argument with the wife a little bit that had nothing to do with football. But that's the way it goes, I guess. The wide right, like I think like a month ago, 2 months ago maybe, I talked about having fan PTSD. Now, PTSD is a real thing. I'm not trying to downplay it at all. But holy shit. Like, wide right again? Like, I would have felt better if it would have went left.
Yeah.
If you would have missed it left, I could sleep at night.
The thing that bothered me also is Jim Nance talking about it and saying what he said. It just was like, come on.
Yeah.
Well, and if they were going to bring up the 13 seconds one more time in that broadcast, I might have gone on like a shooting rampage.
We
on
should get the
everyone in
Samuel
my
L. Jackson.
household,
Say
I
that
swear
one
to
more
God.
time.
I know. Seriously. It was so bad.
This is the benefit of working the games because I don't hear any of that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
And if they lose, I don't watch it. I don't watch it back. So
I got to ask. I'm not.
Were you at the end that he was kicking?
no.
Yes, that's what I was wondering.
My end, all the touchdowns and the field goal were scored at my end. So
Oh, there you
we
go.
had a good juju.
You
going
gotta
on
run
there.
down to the other end.
We need you sprinting back and forth.
Yeah,
You're going to
that's
be
right. Yeah.
more fit than you currently are, running back and forth to pull those.
So, Brian, from your viewpoint, how well could you
I
see?
had a great look at it. Then the wind, it swirls.
Yeah.
So he had it at his back, but I I think he should have aimed to the left upright, and it would have went right through, and he just mishit it. It was more hit it maybe towards the left inside upright, and the wind caught it and didn't stand a chance.
All right, so
and I appreciate Brian giving some credit to the
Insight.
weather, but screw Tyler Bass. I swear to God, I've been on this train. I don't know how many weeks, at least the second half of the season.
Yeah,
this guy has had the worst season as a Bill this season, and we talked about it to no end last week. So I'm glad we're doing this first because we'll kind of get it out of the way and kind of move past this. But this guy, you were afraid that he was going to have to kick a field goal like this.
Well, Blackout for sure was scared.
Exactly, and I think that's a quote from last week. I think that we were scared if you had to do this. And we said, is he going to be back next year if he misses it? And if they bring that guy back, that is, I can't see it happening.
Herb brought it up. Kyle played it a little bit earlier. I think the word he used was terrified. He would be terrified if it came down to Bass's leg. I'm gonna be that advocate for Tyler Bass here.
Like I'm the Gabe Davis advocate.
Yeah.
I'll take Gabe Davis all day over Tyler Bass.
I know.
I would have taken Martin over him, I think, at that point.
Every suspect needs a lawyer. In Bass, I know he's feeling it. He's a gamer. This is crushing him more than it's crushing all of us as diehard Bills fans. That being said, I've got a couple of people in line on my shit list before Bass.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I would love to hear who.
I've got it.
Okay.
It starts right now with coaching right off the bat.
Okay.
It starts with coaching because I can't remember who it was, but I know it was Kyle who said it rings in my ears as we were watching the game from the studio. Yep. He said McDermott plays not to lose. He doesn't play to win. And we've known from experience from playing the Kansas City Chiefs, you leave no time on the clock. It was first down or bust. A field goal does nothing for us. It does nothing. Next on my list, it'd be because, oh my God, they kicked the field goal with 13 seconds. We're giving them a minute 30. And our defense already proved they couldn't stop them.
Right.
We needed to take it down in 3 seconds and work last kick
2 seconds.
And then send it to overtime.
Right.
So next is Josh. Josh, I love you. You played a great game. My wife loves you. Please never leave. That being said, you got to get the first down pass. How many receivers were wide open and he went for the end zone? There was 2 plays right there where you're getting the first down. Mahomes, I'm going to blame Mahomes because I know he's going to walk down there with a minute 30, get them in field goal position because he knows he can do it, and we're going to lose that way. And then Bass is on my list after that one. But you said it. The Bills play not to win, just not to lose. And I have zero faith in that defense, who has done everything they've could to this point to play a hell of a game, and all of a sudden they couldn't stop Mahomes one time, except for
Pacheco or whatever that guy's name.
Couldn't do it. So I had no faith in them.
Okay.
So to put him up there for a relatively long field goal, and everything looked good. Everything looked great up until the wind just sucked it right, and that was it. So I give Tyler Bass a bit of a pass there because I don't think they win that game even if he hits it.
Okay.
I actually agree with you 100%. Like, he's going to be the whipping boy for that, but because it looks bad and it was predictable. But I agree with you 100%. If they make that, I just see Mahomes marching down the field. There was so much more to that game than just that missed field goal.
Yeah.
And they've known this.
Yeah.
We've seen it before.
Oh, my God. 13 seconds told you everything you needed to know. As painful of a loss as that is, and I still remember it watching it here at the studio, I remember literally that 2 minutes like it's the JFK video. It's a Bruder film. I still have it. It's talk about PTSD.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're going to do it again. They haven't learned the lessons. They haven't learned the lessons of you're giving this guy 2-time winning Super Bowl who's going to get his ass kicked next week by the Ravens.
Hopefully.
A minute 30. He's gonna.
Okay, hold on.
I'm done.
All right.
Going home.
Jeff and Brian, let's let the new guys get in
I
here.
agree with Sean a lot.
Jump in.
We're just paving the way.
The biggest gripe I had, and I watch with my son every week, and it was right after the 2nd and 9 and 3rd and 9. How are you not going for the first down? I was so upset. That was the biggest gripe I had about the whole game. What are you doing? All you have to do is get a first down. Once you get the first down, the clock can go down. I mean, it was how much time was left? Was
it 147 when they
Folks,
it?
if you want to be on the podcast, one, you have to fill out the application, and two, like these guys, did homework. Holy shit.
So
I like it.
It's pretty good.
We were on the 44-yard line.
Look at this.
I'm sorry. We were on the 27-yard line. 1st and 10. We ran Cook for 1 yard, so that made it 2nd and 9.
Right to run time off.
And then he did get hit a little bit. I didn't think he really got hit as much though as people said he did.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at it, he kind of got hit afterwards and he kind of got nudged. I mean, I've seen him go through a lot of other people, you know, than that, and didn't hit that. And then he gets flushed out of the pocket and goes for the end zone again.
Do you think those Cook plays were just to kill time and then just like they were hoping that he would slip through and maybe get a first down, but worst case scenario, they're just going to run 35 seconds off the clock?
First down?
Yeah.
Well, first down, I'm fine with that. You know, you got 3 downs. You know, first down, run, see what happens. Okay, they got a yard.
Okay.
But these next 2, what are you going it for the end zone for? You can win the game if you get another 10 yards. Then it's an easier field goal. The time's gonna run down, and you could just pretty much almost run the time down and kick a field goal to win.
Is somebody in Josh's ear telling him, "Listen, just play the sticks"?
That's what coaching's supposed to do. That's what the game plan is supposed to do. That's what. Forget Josh. Josh has no say. Here are the plays we're calling because we're running time off the clock because we can't trust Patrick Mahomes with the ball.
But Diggs was wide open.
Oh, I know.
Wide open.
And there was a play that Cook was wide open.
And he tried to hit Shakir.
Yeah.
So was the plan to try to get a couple guys in the end zone and having Diggs wide open, and he didn't do it.
And I was horrified. I mean, in hindsight, it seems ridiculous, but I was horrified because they're leaving time on the clock.
For sure.
He's going for the end zone. He's leaving $130, probably $140, 45.
Yeah.
Way too much time, even if you're up by 4. Way too much time for Mahomes. In hindsight, I would take the touchdown. But I mean, as the ball's going in the air, I'm like, we're going to lose this because they're going to score here and they're going to come down and they're going to win the game.
But the best scenario, the coaches should have been in his ear saying, "You need to get this first down. You have to get this first down," and not trying to go in the end zone. Brian, what do you think?
Yeah.
I've been looking for that clip of this. Heard that Diggs was open short, and I did see him flying across the field. I'm like, oh, he looks like he's open, and then next thing you know, he's taking a shot. But I did see him. Did Jones hit him or did Dawkins bump into him?
Jones pushed Dawkins back into him.
Yeah, that's what happened.
And got him off his spot. If he steps up into that, and because Shakir got open,
it's a touchdown.
We're having a different conversation right now because Josh is a gunslinger.
Yep.
You got to take the good with the bad, and there's been a lot more good than there's been bad. And I know everybody's hurting right now, and you can Tuesday night quarterback right now, but just it's frustrating because we've been here before, and we're just so tired of it. Just looking for answers to what can we do to get over this hill that we just have not been able to get over the last 4 years. I have faith. I know you guys express your feelings, but I have faith that we will someday be celebrating with Josh and this coaching staff. I think
just
can
one
get
before
us there.
I die.
That's my Twitter handle.
I have a shirt. That says that.
Look, I'm just like that too. I think I have to believe that we will. You got to have hope.
Yeah.
That's all. You got to have hope.
Yeah, and I think, and that leads me into a couple questions, concerning how that drive was handled and the thought process behind how they handled the last series of downs there. So it seemed like they were doing the right things on that drive. I mean, they killed a ton of clock, and it wasn't big plays. It was dinking and donking down the field, which they kind of had done all day. Yeah, Josh had tried to do a couple deep balls, but his receivers can't catch.
I was going to say.
So, unfortunately, he could have had some big plays, but that wasn't happening. It was all underneath stuff. We had, no middle-range game at all. It was either behind the line of scrimmage, 5 yards from the line of scrimmage, or 80 yards down the field, unfortunately. So, I don't know if that's an aspect of scheme or what with Joe Brady or the current playbook. But then, so I actually felt really good going into that, where that drive was going. I was saying, I think that they can kill this entire clock on this drive. When we got to that 2-minute warning, I was like, wow, we are sitting pretty, especially the way that we've been driving this whole drive. Just keep going. Either run the clock, do short little stuff like you have been doing the whole game, and get it down to nothing, and hopefully you punch it in, but at a minimum you get the field goal. And I heard McDermott answer the question. I don't know if it was post game or if it was the day after. And he said that to him, the points are more important there than the clock. And I don't know if I really agree with that statement. I think against Patrick Mahomes, like Sean said, and we've all alluded to, and he should know better than anyone, you can't leave any time left for this guy. So I didn't totally agree with that statement. The other thing that I was thinking is, and this will lead to a bigger debate, is Joe Brady our guy going forward, or is he just a guy who fell into the position because he was there and is not really the best guy for Josh Allen and his skill set?
See, I thought about that, and I think we should give him a shot because we did really well. This wasn't his offense, though, necessarily. So this was Ken Dorsey's offense that he just tinkered with.
That's the other side of the coin, really. It makes me wonder, what else does this guy have? Does he have his own ideas of how it should be run, and he's just been doing what he can with the Dorsey playbook to help us win games?
And you see that we ran a lot more once Brady came in, for offensive coordinator. The other thing I ask is McDermott in his ear, we have to run more. We have to run more. You always hear that about him. We got a game manager. We got to run more, and we did win a lot. But in the end, I don't know. I want more of Josh Allen. Yeah, for me, which is funny because another quote that I heard from McDermott, I listened to a lot of press conferences over the last couple of days, was he said, that he cut his teeth with Andy Reid, and for him it's pass first. And I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that. Not that I agree with that. I do agree with that statement. Well, I don't know if he really thinks that or implies that on his OC.
For me, what was more challenging, I think, was one thing that was consistent about the Buffalo Bills is they seemed to drop the plan. They had a game plan for a specific team. They might execute it for maybe the first 10 minutes, and then they would hard right, hard left, try something different, abandon the run, force this, force that. For literally 55 minutes, they seemed to be following their own script, which was keep Mahomes off the field, take chunks of time out of the game, which was a beautiful strategy. And then in the last 2 minutes, they abandoned that strategy, whether it was going for the end zone, incomplete passes. It seemed like that last drive, they threw caution to the wind for reasons unknown because they were in a great spot. And that, to me, was the most frustrating part of the ending of this game was we were going to come here and say, look at that. Sean McDermott topped Andy Reid. It was never about Allen and Mahomes. It was simply about the coaches. And look, he triumphed. He got his win over his predecessor. And all of a sudden, those last 4 plays, they're like, they totally brain farted everything. And it's hard to explain how they could do something like that when they had gone 95% of the game with kind of the script they probably had drawn up 6 weeks ago, 6 months ago, 4 years ago to how to handle Patrick Mahomes. And they literally abandoned it, which is what raises so many questions in my brain, is how could you do that? You had the game. For the first time, you looked devoted that you were going to go forward. And that's what befuddles me.
That sounds familiar. 13 seconds.
You know what my issue is that you have 2 consistencies over the last 3 out of the 4 years where they only get to the divisional and can't get past them, right?
Wrong.
McDermott and Josh.
Right.
And you ain't getting rid of Josh.
Right. They did make it to the championship round. We got into a debate with.
They did not.
They did. The AFC championship.
AFC championship. They made one.
They did. They did. I was
21,
wrong.
I think, right?
Apologizing to Skip.
Skip, I'm telling you, I did a lot of research today, and it turns out you are absolutely right. And I might have been McDermott's first year.
Who was that
They
against?
They won 2 playoff games. Indianapolis.
Baltimore.
And Baltimore was the second one. And they played Kansas City for the right to go to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And Kansas City got absolutely destroyed.
What was the score of the Bills-Chiefs game, though?
38-26. It was more than 2
That's the one where Stephon Diggs is like looking at all the
Yeah, we're
confetti.
sitting out
The first
there.
time.
Yeah. So I was wrong, Skip. You are 100% right.
And that was not McDermott's first year. McDermott's
No.
first year was Houston.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, geez, that one.
It was that early.
When we were winning at halftime, what was it?
2018.
16-0.
16-0. I was
Yeah.
going to say 20-0. Yeah.
It was 2020 that year.
Yeah.
So there's a theme to this man. Awful in the playoffs.
Well, and I want to push back just a little bit too, because I take a step back and I say it's really this league in whole is a feast or famine. You're either very good or you're very bad. Miami hasn't won a playoff game in 24 years. Detroit has been clawing and struggling, and I've got Detroit fans that I'm friends with who are literally tearing up with every game. Cleveland has struggled. I mean, think of how many franchises have not had the success we've had. But I think we're at that stage where we want to see at least progress. I don't think Buffalo would have beaten Baltimore. I've seen enough of Baltimore to know that, geez, with the team, with our injuries, going to Baltimore with their rest, I don't think we go there, but at least we could show some progress. At least we can get that monkey off our back.
I would have liked to see what happened if Bass actually hit that kick to see if
I
we
have
would have
no-
lost or
Yeah,
if we
me
would
too.
have got to overtime. I would have been interested to see.
Short of a miracle. And
You never know what happens, though. Like, somebody can fumble
Right.
it, some little pass gets tipped. I mean, who knows?
But even so, we used a lot of our miracle plays.
Yeah.
I mean, that 1 yard fumble in the end zone.
Touchback.
We want to blame the referees. We want to blame
God,
our
those refs
refs.
sucked.
We want to blame them all, but really it didn't cost us a game. We
Yeah.
got our lucky breaks.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah, we did.
To expect another one, I have no doubt we would have ended up losing.
So you're blaming. So who are you blaming on this? The loss? The defense?
I got coaching. I got Josh number 2. Mahomes is number 3 because I think he's just going to go down there anyways. Bass is number 4.
I think the defense, they've been good all year. I think the injuries caught up to us.
Correct.
At the wrong time.
Definitely.
Folks, we got a call coming in. Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
What is up?
What's going on, guys?
How you doing? This is Chris Johnson, everybody.
Oh, hey, Chris. How you doing?
Regular member.
Hey, guys. Good
Hey,
to hear
Chris.
everybody. How's everybody doing?
Good, Chris. We got 2 new people filling in tonight for people that are absent doing other things.
Awesome. Good to hear. Some people are stepping up.
I would like to introduce you to our first, Jeff Criddle.
What's up, Chris? How are you?
Jeff Criddle in the house.
He's in your seat, too.
Oh, boy.
You know what? I can't think of anybody else I'd like to fill my shoes there. Jeff Criddle.
Stop lying.
And then we have Brian Zontag with us.
What's up, man?
I don't know if Brian?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Do I know Brian?
Yeah.
We've met. The Wilson
think we
tournament.
met.
Wilson Camping.
That's a soccer camping name for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
Well, I mean, if it's camping, I can't,
Yeah, I know.
I won't hold it against
enough
you.
said.
All right, so give us your post game synopsis.
Well, now that I've had a couple of days to kind of sleep on it, I'll be honest with you. To me, it wasn't a heartbreaking loss. It wasn't a loss where I think people were trying to make it out to be like the Norwood wide right, this and that. I mean, if that game's played in like week 8 of the regular season, I could look at it and say, yeah, all right, that's about right. I mean, they were in it to the end, and you miss a field goal, it happens. To be honest with you, I keep circling back to the injuries on defense. I think the offense, I think the game plan that they had was obvious. I mean, McDermott was probably sitting in those meetings last week planning for this game thinking, look, I'm down to A.J. Klein. I'm down to Terrell Dodson. My cornerbacks are a hot mess. Douglas probably shouldn't be playing. I think he knew that. I think the game plan was exactly what it was, which was control the ball, run it, limit Mahomes' possessions, and hope I get a stop. The problem was they couldn't get a stop. And so, the offense, put 17 points up on them. They were inside the red zone, I think 4 times in the first half, which that defense didn't allow a lot of red zone trips to anybody all year long, let alone 2 red zone touchdowns in that first half, where I think the Bills were pushing them around. So I think offensively, early on, they executed their game plan to perfection. Second half, definitely the Chiefs tightened up. I mean, they have all-world coaches, and I think they averaged 7 points a second half all year long, giving up 7 points a second half. So the Bills had to expect that. But then again, there were a couple plays in that second half that could have gone either way. That bomb to Diggs probably should have been caught. At least one of the ones to Sherfield should have been caught. If Dawkins holds that block on that last drive another second and Chris Jones, doesn't rush Allen's throw, they finally got a look that they wanted. And Shakir coming right through the middle of the field, that's probably a touchdown. And we're singing a whole different tune. So, I want to be critical of them, but to me, I just think the injuries on defense, it was just too much to overcome.
Yeah, but didn't you think they had the opportunity to win this?
Yeah, definitely. They scored 24. The Chiefs if you look at the Chiefs, they've been struggling to get to 20 points all year.
Yeah.
I think there were chances to win. I think the Chiefs defense was really good. I think it was a play here or there, to be honest with you, and that game goes either way. But this is what I was saying today. If you would have said back in August that the Bills were playing the Chiefs in the divisional round, minus both their starting linebackers, their number 1 and number 3 cornerbacks, Trey White and Christian Benford, their number 2 cornerback, Rasul Douglas, was banged up and probably wouldn't be playing. Your number 2 wide receivers out, and you're facing Patrick Mahomes. I would think most of us would have been pretty content with a game-time field goal opportunity with 1 minute and 38 seconds left.
Oh, you do present that well.
That was very good perspective.
I think that's why I keep circling back to the injuries. I'm not making excuses, but we said all along they had to be healthy when it counted. They were healthy going into Miami that last week, and they just weren't healthy in this game. They weren't. Losing Bernard in that Steelers game was an absolute killer.
Yep.
Just a killer.
It was huge. This could have been the Cinderella story, though, this season. Team with absolutely decimated roster, getting to the championship game.
So and for me too, like what he said, it kind of goes back to the receiver drops. You are an offense with Josh Allen who prides itself on these, amazing plays down the field, scoring points, and that's what we had said too. How do the Buffalo Bills win in the playoffs? How do they win the Super Bowl? They got to score points, and your receivers aren't helping you dropping these balls. And I think it's been one of the biggest stories that I've heard this week, and not a story, but just one of the concerns is they got to go out and get receiver talent.
Totally agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And unfortunately, they don't have the money for it, so they're gonna have to go in the draft.
Yeah, I think they're $45 million over the cap. I think something like that. I think the one by Diggs is the one that got me so bad.
Yeah.
After all the talk, after all the things that happened. Yeah, after everything Diggs said and did last year, this year, years past, him looking at the confetti that we talked about earlier, it's crazy that he's the one to drop the ball, literally, and what do you do going forward? Like he had by the stats, he had a good year, but he didn't have a good year. The last 10 games.
Shakir outplayed him.
Yeah. Well, the stat that everybody has probably seen by now.
Was that in the text chain? Somebody sent that out with the.
I think so.
It was through the targets
Instagram.
and the
your targets and the yards.
Yeah, it was Shakir. Jesus.
Today. Yeah, there you go.
So Shakir, he had 462 yards the last 10 games. Diggs had 422. And Diggs had 80 targets compared to 37 from Shakir.
Jeez.
So that's not even close to me. Shakir, you could tell all year, he was getting better and better every game just about.
Definitely.
Yeah. And so that was good to see. Diggs is kind of plateauing. I think he was plateauing last year, really. But out of your number 1 guy, you need, and I don't want to hear about coverages that rolled his way, that somebody else has got to be open, right?
Yep.
And I don't want to hear that Josh is doing a poor job, even though maybe he might be at some points. What I'm trying to say, I guess, long-windedly here, is that Diggs has to be better. And in that spot, he does a lot of talking all the time. And the times where he's good, like we'll say it. We'll say, hey, great game, 100 yards and 3 touchdowns against Miami early in the year, I think it was. That didn't matter at all. What matters is the playoffs.
Right.
And he came up shorter than anyone.
Dennis, he had 8 targets, 3 receptions, 21 yards.
Yeah.
That's
I
unacceptable.
mean,
for a number 1 wide receiver and your
me?
number 2 is out.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to step up.
I kind of wonder if I can do that. I mean, come on.
Hey, you know who would have caught that ball? Davis.
He
Why?
might have.
Why? Because he catches the most ridiculous
Yeah.
things, but drops the easy ones.
Yeah.
He would have had that. Donnie Sean.
That
Gabe
throw
Davis.
did remind me of the Jets game last year when Allen's elbow almost fell off the play before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he launched it 70 yards.
Yeah.
And Sauce Gardner was all over Davis, but he had a chance to catch that ball. He put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Allen on that play threw it from the 25 and Diggs was, I think, at like the 20 or so.
And he didn't underthrow him. He finally hit a guy in stride.
But that,
Deep.
I mean, that throw, that's unbelievable.
And so is Sherfield's.
I mean,
Well, and it makes you wonder, too, if on that last drive that we were just talking about, when he's targeting Shakir in the end zone, if that's why he's not looking at Diggs.
That's what I was thinking, too.
Because Shakir is not dropping anything.
Yep.
That guy is amazing. That touchdown catch that he had was unreal.
It was,
And I think it was the first one that the
throw
defensive
was
guy, I forgot his name, the defensive guy. Snead, yeah. I think it's the first one he's given up in a while.
And they
the red
finally
zone.
screwed somebody else on the stat
Yeah.
right before that play,
Yeah.
too. And they said that he hadn't given up anything.
and that's where
that was his first one of the year.
whether it was the touchback in our end zone or even that remarkable catch in the end zone, we got lucky. We got the luck we seem to never get, and that's why I think it was we couldn't ask for anything more.
And that amazing play where the ball gets knocked out by Poyer and going out to the end zone was right after probably the dumbest play that we've run all season, the fake punt with DeMar Hamlin telegraphing it in the backfield like he wanted the spotlight on him. He's bouncing around like a freaking idiot. And Hamlin has been kind of, one of my guys this year that I'm whipping on, but he's earned it. And I don't know where that play call comes from. What is that?
They explained what had happened.
10 guys on the field.
Correct.
Audible didn't
Whenever
do
you
it.
say what had happened, it's not good.
No, I know. They had 6 guys in the line. You have 8. In theory, there should be some sort of hole there. Now, 2 yards, 3 yards?
It was 5.
It was 5.
I'm for it.
Huge.
Yeah.
5 yards where the ball is
on your
you're giving the game right there if you screw it up.
Yeah.
Now, I want to hold back here for a moment because we bash McDermott for what? Being conservative, not taking chances. So I don't want to rip him when he takes a chance like that, but gee, my God.
So is it definite that call came from McDermott?
Yeah,
Hey,
I'm sure it did. Because it looked like it was
they
audible.
said it came from the sideline. That call came from the sideline for sure.
Wow.
Which is unbelievable.
I
because
think he has to have the final call on that.
Absolutely.
They're not
I
gonna
would
just
think
say,
so.
Oh, my
I'm
God.
doing this and not have him know this.
Can't imagine special teams coach got
I
that.
would like to see a better fake punt there.
But they practiced
throw?
that. Like they practiced that.
pass?
Fire.
Yeah, a throw. It's like, so if you're gonna fake it, make it look great.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't give me DeMar Hamlin up the middle for -2 or whatever it was. Make it look great. Let's try out Sam Martin, see if he's got an arm like Allen.
Well, and they showed
He
that.
better. He doesn't have a leg.
I looked at that play and they went to the left side where it was the short side where there was a lot more guys there. If you look to the right side, there wasn't as many guys over there. If he would have went that way, I think we could have had a chance. But I didn't like that call at all.
Woody.
Well, and the other thing is that they showed on the breakdown that linebacker read it perfectly pre-snap. He could tell that something was going on there, and he tells his guy to his right, like, hey, we're crashing, and they do that. The snap of the ball, they dive down and make the stop. Like, it was, I would rather they have gone for it with Josh Allen and tried to do something with him than a stupid play like that.
But you wouldn't have had 10 guys on the field, though.
I think that was the...
You still had a better shot.
Well, okay. Woody, what did you think of that play?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it might have been Sean or whoever was saying that the fake punt. McDermott said, I think it was today, he wanted an element of surprise. And then he said it was basically that they had seen the 10 men on the field, so that was the time for it. I mean, to be honest with you, if it's like a 4th and 2 or 4th and 3, and they're a little bit probably closer to midfield, at that point, I guess. But to me, it was kind of an act of desperation because, you weren't. I think they were down by 3 at that point, and if Kansas City had gone in without that fumble through the end zone, they would have been up by 10 at that point. Pretty much game over the way the game was going. So I don't know if that was the right call at that moment. 4th and 5, a little bit of a stretch, wherever they were, 34, 35-yard line.
30-yard line.
I think if you look at statistically, I think that probably works 30% of the time. I don't think that was the right call at that time.
Hey, you said element of surprise, right? And
that's what he used those words. Yeah.
So the guy who tries to draw everybody off sides all the time and burns timeouts, that guy's gonna freaking trick people? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, his mojo, his thing he was talking about today was, they want to go for it. They wanted to be aggressive. He was telling his players, go out and get it, go be aggressive, go all in, or whatever the words he was using. I get that.
Did you see that on the field, though?
At that spot on the field, that was the right call.
See, that's what I was thinking, too. I'm all about being aggressive, but it was 4th and 5 at, I want to say, like the 30-yard line.
It was a 30-yard line.
30. That's even worse than I thought. So, I mean, if you're at like the 45, 50, right around there, all right. If it's like 4 and 2, go for it all day. I mean, I'd like to see something crazy.
And if your defense is holding up,
yeah,
and it wasn't, so I mean, we had no faith in our defense.
We lucked out by the touchback, which I think is a great rule, and we could talk about that whenever.
I think that's a great rule. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because of that play.
Because the end zone is a special place. It's not the 10-yard line. It's not the 5-yard line. The end zone is special, so you have to have it for a reason.
And listen, if it wasn't for the fact our first penalty was
illegal flicking of the ball,
you know what? If you're going to call that illegal flicking of the ball, the end zone thing's got to hold up.
Chris, what'd you think of that call with the penalty?
Illegal batting.
I thought when it happened, subconsciously, I thought I'd remember seeing that at some point in the game called. I knew that was a rule. When they called it, I wasn't as ticked off about it. What I was more upset about, and this is what you guys were just talking about, is I was giving Diggs the benefit of the doubt, the last month and a half, thinking maybe it's just Allen, maybe, because they're running the ball and they're seeing Diggs more and he's seeing double coverage like Dennis was saying. But then here's the biggest game of not only the year, at this point, probably the biggest game of his career, and he fumbles on the first play. And it's like, dude, you got to know that those guys are ball hawking and this is a good defense, and he fumbles on the first play of the game. That could have been catastrophic for the Bills. And, it made me then think back to the drops that he's had in the last month and a half. For whatever reason, his head was not there. He just finished, I don't think any of us could have predicted there would have been that much of a drop-off from your number one wide receiver. And the Bills were still winning. And they did fairly well in that game offensively. That's what, to me, is shocking.
Yep. Yeah, the Chiefs did adjust well to the run, though, in the second half.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that kind of startled the Bills a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Brady should have. I think in the last podcast we were talking about McDermott and the coaching staff having to be at a championship level in a game like this, and I would have to assume that they knew Kansas City was tight. In the second half, they didn't give up a lot of points. Like I said, I think it was 7 points they averaged all year in the second half. That says a lot, and that says that they are championship level coaches that can look at film. They got guys up above that are saying, here's what that team's doing. Here's how we stop them. I would think that Brady would have known that. And yet they just kept beating their heads into the wall with that same stuff. And the Bills, for the most part, didn't really match those adjustments, which was kind of depressing. But again, there you are, ready to kick a game time field goal with 1:30 seconds left. So, I mean, I want to nitpick, but that's the NFL, and those are a lot of games, to be honest with you.
Hey, Woody, I'll ask you a question that we asked before you called in. Do you think that Brady is our guy going forward as the OC?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I didn't hate how that offense looked the last 7 games. I thought it looked a lot similar to, or looked very similar, rather, to, what he did in LSU when he had those weapons there. I thought, the backs out of the backfield were great. The catching, the passes to the backs on the backfield, I thought he did that better than Dorsey. I didn't hate that offense. I mean, they didn't struggle offensively, I thought, in the last 7 games or 8 games, wherever he took over. So if he came back next year, I thought he was aggressive. I thought, McDermott and Allen both said they were happy with the communication and the energy that he had. I wouldn't hate it. I just don't know who else you're getting. That's the question. Where are you finding a guy that's just out there that's the next stud? I mean, you're gambling. I don't think anybody is dying to jump off a team that they're already on. If they are, they're good. So
we keep talking about how people want to come here for Josh Allen, but do they really want to come here if McDermott's the problem?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Absolutely. Hands down.
Team that gets to the divisionals but can never beat the Chiefs.
You know what?
In the playoffs.
You know, that man, for all intents and purposes, he had a hell of a game. It was let's put Josh Allen on the spotlight, and Josh Allen performed. Whether it was the touchdowns, he got in the end zone. I get it. I know there's flaws there, but I can't remember who kept bringing it up. He had 20 more touchdowns than Mahomes, the defending Super Bowl champion.
I understand that, but do they want to
total
work?
Touchdowns.
But do they want to work with a guy like McDermott?
I think I agree with Sean actually 100%. I think that
first
anybody
time.
would be
Brendan.
Yeah,
love it, Brendan.
I think that number one, to come work with a Josh Allen as an offensive coordinator is like a dream. If you can get a generational quarterback like Josh Allen, who really is unlike anybody else in this league,
hands down.
You can say that Mahomes is a better quarterback, but he doesn't have the skills that Josh Allen has. He doesn't run like Josh Allen. He runs, but he doesn't run through people like Josh Allen runs through people.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can launch the ball like Josh Allen launches the ball. He's accurate. He's a good quarterback. He's not Josh Allen. And
he's got a better team.
Well, he's got a better team, and I think he's got a better coach.
Better coach,
right?
Absolutely.
Brendan, keep going.
And I think working with him and what he can do for your own career too. Look what he did for Dable. Dable got a head coaching job because of Josh Allen and what he did with them. If he has a different quarterback, he's not the head coach of the Giants.
I agree.
And actually, I'd love Dable to come back.
And Brady had an interview with
Atlanta.
So
yeah.
Yeah, but like what he said, who is out there to replace the guy? And then, what's the plan with McDermott going forward? Is he still going to be head C and the DC? Because
if you had the stone,
we've all said that the guy kind of is not great with game management and game decisions, and maybe he's just one of those coaches that's.
The Buffalo Bills have plateaued. I mean, in the last 3 or 4 seasons, they've plateaued.
Okay, so is McDermott the reason why they're plateauing?
I think so.
Okay, so you ready to move on?
I am ready to move on.
Okay.
Because I want more than just this.
Yep.
I wobble. I go back and forth. I'm gracious. I'm happy that they're winning the playoffs, that you get in the playoffs because so many teams can't. But if you want to
nightmare.
If you want to take the next level step, you've got to get someone who is in sync with Josh Allen, who's in sync with the offense. He did a great job with the defense.
Yes.
Bless his soul. He did a great job with the defense. But at the end of the day, you need somebody to sit there and get the best out of Josh Allen. Josh Allen's giving you what Josh Allen can do. God, if he had a coach who could Don Shula him, who could,
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid him.
Yep.
I mean, what could he be?
I think he just has to outsmart some people like Andy Reid does.
That's the thing of a great coach is to coach to your players' strengths. That's what you got to do. And so, I know you and I have had many conversations on the pod and off the pod about how McDermott, like you just said, Sean, that the Bills have kind of plateaued under him. We need somebody to get us over the hump.
Yes.
And like I think you said earlier, somebody said that Josh Allen isn't going anywhere, and so that means that Sean McDermott maybe should.
And I understand it. There's a message to be sent too. Those players in the locker room love him, but sometimes when you let a coach go, everyone gets woken up a little bit.
All right, Jeff has something really good to say.
I can tell.
So I saw this on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it now. Sean McDermott's Bills defense in their last 4 playoff eliminations: 3 times the Chiefs, once the Bengals. 38 drives, 16 touchdowns against, 8 field goals, 6 punts, 6 kneel downs, end of half plays, 1 missed field goal, 1 turnover, 134 points allowed. That's 3.52 points per drive.
It's unbelievable.
That's terrible.
So they can't stop anybody in the playoffs.
And I think he does a great job in the regular season. I don't know. It comes to the playoffs, and he hasn't done anything in the playoffs.
You know what it reminds me of?
Defense.
Woody, it reminds me of The Water Boy when Henry Winkler, I forget his character's name in the movie, but when Big Red Shumbo, whatever his name is, comes to the field, he quivers in the corner like a little baby, and then I wonder if that's how McDermott feels with Andy Reid.
And then he starts seeing the baby,
and then he finally gets his shit together.
And
Woody,
Coach Klein, Mr. Coach Klein.
yeah, Woody, let me
Coach
ask.
Klein said it was okay.
Woody, let me ask you this: if Joe, okay, so if we were to move, this is all hypothetical, of course. Let's say Bills decide to move on from McDermott, and they probably won't.
It's not happening.
You want to know why? Because if Brady leaves, you need one consistency there, and if you get rid of everybody, then what are you going to have?
I don't think you do at all.
So McDermott had a conference today, him and Bean, I think, and McDermott looked way too comfortable. So he's not going anywhere.
I think McDermott is higher than Bean.
I've wondered that myself. If
I
he
really
has
do.
more power,
I think he has more power.
He's pulled the wool over Pagula's eyes, and
well, McDermott was
let me say
McDermott
this.
was
Let me
there
chime in on
first.
the Let me chime in on the McDermott thing real quick.
You are the
hear
fortune
everything.
teller.
I hear. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, you're the fortune teller, buddy.
Sorry. I hear everything everybody's saying about McDermott. To be honest with you, I'm 50-50 on it. Criddle, I don't know, whoever was reading off those stats, those are absolutely true.
Criddle.
The problem is the majority of them are against the Chiefs.
Yep.
The Chiefs have done that to a lot of people. I'm not making excuses for McDermott. The Bengals game last year, again, sounds like an excuse. I don't think the Bills mentally were even remotely in that game at all. It happened to be the finisher, the last game of the season. I get it. He has built success here. He has obviously changed the franchise around. He's sustained the level of success that they've had. It's been sustainable for 4 or 5 years. That's hard to do. My concern is this. You want to get rid of him? Totally get it. Who are you bringing in? And are you willing to wait another 1 to 2 years? Because I don't really think there's any first-year coaches that are winning any Super Bowls.
Harbaugh.
So I just think that the level of success that he's had, I mean, you're talking a ton of wins. It has to happen eventually. I get it. I just don't know if now is the right time to act.
Let me ask you this. Next season, December, January, Bills are in the playoffs again, lose again to the Chiefs in the same divisional. How many more years are you going to put up with this shit with McDermott?
I get, yeah. I mean, I would think that's probably would be enough is enough. I think he's probably, whether we like it or not, he's on the hot seat next year for sure.
He's 0-3 right now against the Chiefs in the playoffs.
I saw something today that Peyton
Mahomes
Manning
isn't going anywhere.
Had lost. He was 3-6 in the playoffs at the age of 30 years old. He had been beaten by Brady left and right. Allen is 5-5 in the playoffs. He's 27. And, Manning was 31, 32, 33, whatever he was when he got his first Super Bowl. He finally slayed Brady. And so, is McDermott here when we win our Super Bowl? I mean, if and when we win it, I don't know. I don't know if that's the right answer.
Do you think a coach more like Kyle Shanahan would be more well suited for Josh Allen in this
absolutely
West
the problem
Coast
is those
offense
guys
that
are
we
already
kind of
taken.
have?
Those guys are already on teams. You just the good coordinators become head coaches, and they have, if they're really good, they stay on those teams. So I don't know.
Could that be Joe Brady?
Unless you're going to one of their coaching trees to get one of those guys here, like a McVay. Good luck. I mean, these teams are hiring coaches every year, and they're 1, 2, 3 years and done because they stink.
Well, it's too much recycling.
The devil, I'll throw this name out there only because it's a change. But
If you say Bill Belichick now, you are off the pot.
Yeah, thank you, Brendan.
I'm not going Belichick. I'm not bringing that up again. Spagnuolo from Kansas City.
He's a defensive guy.
I understand. He knows the enemy. He's going to bring a great defensive scheme, just like McDermott. He's a new voice.
Whoa! Hiring him as a head coach as a defensive coordinator?
No, as a head coach.
Does McDermott call defense again next
he
year?
Does not. No, he's gone.
He's
finished. I'm just saying.
He won't take a back seat.
Yeah, you can't sit there and pull him. He's not going to want to leave Kansas City. So he'll leave if he's going to be a head coach. There's an option right there.
I want an offensive guy.
What's his head coaching record, though? It's not that great.
It's
just
not
like Jim Schwartz.
It's horrible, I think.
Just like Jim Schwartz.
I think he's the same thing
Rex
as McDermott.
Ryan.
I think he's the same thing as McDermott. Maybe not as good as McDermott, to be honest.
I'm desperate for a change.
What about Cam Neely?
I would love Cam Neely on there, too.
Adam Oates? Ray Bork?
I was going to say I'm not bringing
Patrick
up anything.
Waugh?
I'm not bringing up stuff, guys. I'm not going to do it today. No, but oh my God.
I want to hear Brian what he thinks about McDermott.
Yeah.
Whoa, is he allowed?
You're on the field with him. We don't want to get you in trouble.
Is he allowed to say anything bad about him?
From the coaches, I have been through 8 previous coaches, so I'm biased here. I mean, it was
Rex.
No, let me do this from the beginning.
All right.
Wade Phillips.
Yep.
Greg Williams.
Oh God.
Who was after that?
The dude from Pittsburgh.
Malarkey.
Yes, Malarkey.
No, the other guy. Duran, that's the guy. Dick Duran.
Daly, Marone.
Oh God.
And Rex. So what I've seen.
Wait. McDermott was immediately after Rex.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was one more in there. God damn, that's a long time ago.
What I've seen, he runs a tight ship. I mean, things changed big time. Even from like we used to be able to go to the locker room and clean up right away. That changed. We can't go in there until they're done with all their meetings and interviews. We're there a lot longer, which is getting paid. But
Show me the money.
I'll take it because, like I said, 6 out of the last 7 years, there's been a huge difference. And I like I said, I get it right now. It's raw. We're all pissed off and want to get that first feeling of championship. But I do feel like the pieces are there. And actually, Stephen A. Smith was asked about the Bills today. Like, what do you think? 2 words. They're cursed. Yeah. I mean, look at this is why you want the number 1 seed.
Right.
We lost 2 players on 1 play in Bernard and Spector last week in the Pittsburgh game. You know, like how often does that happen? And
only the Bills.
I don't want to use injuries as an excuse because it just he had that mentality, next guy up mentality, and it worked. Because I was worried about him being head coach and defensive coordinator, and I was really worried when we were 6-6. But then we turned the season around, and everybody rallied and got us to win the AFC East for a 4th time in a row. You know,
and he did a good job with the defense. He really did.
Yeah, and
I mean, with all the injuries.
Yeah,
I mean,
and what he had to work with was pretty remarkable. We just need to get bounces to go our way to get the 1 seed if possible. If not, be healthy when you get into the playoffs and.
But that's a problem. Everything we got bounces. Like we got bounces.
I didn't expect that call. That should have been the right.
We got bounces. We got referee calls in our favor. We got the things we usually rail against with the Buffalo Bills. We had Josh Allen with multiple touchdowns. Yeah, the receiving core was a little bit off. The defense was banged up.
Hey, who said that referees? Who said that they should have virtual refs? Because how bad is it when the retired, or was it Skip? When the retired referee who's on the broadcast is calling it correctly, but the refs on the field are calling it wrong?
Yeah, but they get the hindsight of watching instant replay, of slowing it down.
Did they just not know the rule? They couldn't check that? Like, that was pretty obvious.
Are you talking about
Huh?
Are you talking about the punch out through the end zone?
No. I'm talking about where they called illegal contact, but the ball hasn't been thrown yet. And the ref, Gene Steratore, like, he goes, ball's not even released yet. That shouldn't be a penalty. And then there it is, called. I mean,
well, that was because the fix was in. That was because they want,
but was
the Chiefs to win.
That was before the actual fumble in the end zone. Is that correct?
And then wasn't there another fumble that should have been our ball that they didn't call for us?
No, that was Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I thought somebody was saying there was another one in that game that should have went our way.
I don't think so.
I don't think the game wasn't decided by the referees.
No.
At the end of the day, we all were terrified of that.
I was just trying to stop you from talking.
I know what you're talking about. That was the one. There was like a contested ball, and it looked like whoever the Bills player was lost it at the bottom of the pile. Like they definitely landed on it first.
Yep.
I can't remember who it was.
Oh yeah,
but. For some reason, the Kansas City player came up with it.
The Bills guy had it in his hands, and next thing you know, after the pile, Chiefs ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that happens. That's football.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, hopefully they're checking somebody's oil there too, right?
Well, and you know what's funny about
That's Wilkins from Miami.
Yeah. It's funny what you said about like Stephen A. Smith and saying the Bills are cursed because I was at a hockey function last night, and a couple people were asking me that we do this, and they're kind of like, hey, what did you think about the game? And I said, did you think we were going to win this game? We're the Bills. We lose these games all the time. We want to win, but we lose these games.
You can't tell me you didn't have a little bit of a feeling going into that last drive like, oh, my God, are they going to fucking do this?
Yeah, it was a little tongue-in-cheek.
Oh,
but,
my God.
Like I said before, I felt good about that drive, and then the Bills did up.
I think that's why the wide right was so bad. I agree that it wasn't like the Scott Norwood thing years ago, but it was so bad because you were right there. You were kind of like they brought you in. And you're like, we're going to do it. like this is it. We're gonna do this, and sure than shit, we didn't.
I had a student ask me, it's a serious question on Monday.
Were you in school?
I was in school.
You were
finally
through
finally
the mounds of snow in Lackawanna.
Finally.
Mr. Viola,
Sunny LA.
is it true that the Bills Stadium is above an Indian burial ground? I had to field that question.
I've heard that.
I said I don't know. It would explain a lot, but I will do the research and I'll try to find out as best as I can. I have not found out yet, but I was fielding those type of questions on Monday.
I would just say yes. I mean,
there's a cemetery right next to the stadium. There is literally a small cemetery. I'm trying to think what entrance.
Is that on Big Tree?
Is it by like 28?
It's off of Drive 5 off of Southwestern. That's the closest. Yeah, there's a small
so that would be
there.
close to California.
Yeah.
Is the new stadium further away from the cemetery?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Yes.
I feel better going forward now.
But who did they sacrifice in the pit?
Oh.
Or how many?
Herb is not here.
No one.
Yeah.
Herb is not here, so he might be in the pit.
I didn't hear anything.
I still think that Ralph Wilson sold his soul to the devil, and this is why we're cursed. Something.
They should sprinkle his ashes in the new stadium or something like that. That would be cool.
That would be cool.
Was he cremated?
I don't know.
Oh.
Dig him up if he
Exhumed?
is.
They froze his head. They froze his
Yeah,
head.
yeah. What, are you still here?
I am, yep.
All right. What else you got?
Nothing. Like I said, I spent the last couple of days just kind of looking at this game and thinking, to be honest with you, to me, it was kind of like a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
I want to tear everything down, but then again, I'm like, all right, you play that game next week and Bernard's back, you probably have a different result. You probably get the play that you didn't get. The offense makes the play. And I just, had we been blown out and, or something totally drastic would have happened where we're all just with our mouths gaping open, I wasn't like that for that missed kick. I mean, I think if you're in that, he should make it. He's at home, but I think if he kicks it 10 times, he probably misses it 5 or 6 times.
He's struggling
I
when
don't
it's
know.
clutch.
I mean, the wind was blowing down there, but my point is, I just think, looking back at that game, it wasn't. I think we all knew that it was going to be just like that. It was going to be super close.
Yep.
It was going to come down to a play or two, one way or the other.
Yep.
So, I don't. You can't blow this thing up. I think you go back next year and try to stay healthy. I think it was Brian or whoever had said it. I think that's the key. Look at the other teams right now. Mahomes is not dealing with the catastrophic injuries that Allen did. Lamar is not dealing with the catastrophic injuries. He had Mark Andrews go out, and that was about it this year. Look at San Francisco. They are almost completely healthy. Debo went out. I get it, but they've been almost the healthiest of all teams all year,
Debo?
it seems like.
Oh, my God.
Who's Detroit missing? That's what's so frustrating is that the Bills, those injuries were massive, and it cost them when it counted, in my opinion.
Okay, so
Speaking of a curse, I think Andrews is going to be back for Baltimore next week.
Yeah,
Right.
he is.
And his backup might be better or just as good. I mean,
So, Chris, what do you think the Bills need for next year? I don't want to get. We're going to have an episode about fantasy drafts and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and who to cut and who to save. But what do you think they
Yeah,
really need? Really need?
Well, listening to Bean talk today, he said we are not going to the expensive stores in New York City. He said we're going to do a lot like we did last year, which was bargain shopping, and I thought he did a fantastic job of that because those guys are out there. On defense, that's where I would focus: is re-sign a couple of guys that maybe you can. Go get the bargain guys that are out there that are cut from Tennessee or cut from somewhere else or whatever you need to do. He's shown that he can get that defense and that scheme to succeed, even with guys that didn't even belong in there this year. So I think you have to go all in on the weapons around Josh Allen. I think they've done a great job of that already. Kincaid is there. Cook is there. Shakir he had a breakout season. Diggs probably at the back end of his career, as we can see happening. It happens with wide receivers pretty quickly. I still think he's got juice. You got to get a stud, though. You got to get a guy,
a Debo,
another wide receiver that's just going to be a stud. Maybe that's where all your eggs go into that basket. You restructure a couple of guys, you restructure Allen, and maybe the freed up money that you can get goes to that receiver. I don't know if it's Mike Evans. I think he's going to command a lot of money on some team. I don't know if they're going to be able to get him
easily.
But Michael Pittman is there. I was looking today. There are a ton of free agent wide receivers that they can go after that I think can be impactful.
Did I hear Mike Evans is available?
He is.
He is.
We don't have the money for all that.
Let me just say this real quickly. When Josh Allen was super successful, look at the receivers he had around him. His best year, he had Cole Beasley, legit NFL receiver. Stephon Diggs, legit NFL receiver. Emmanuel Sanders, legit NFL wide receiver. And Allen was cooking that year. That was the 13 seconds year when they were unstoppable. So I think you got to get back to that. I mean, Sherfield, Hardy, good guys. They're just guys. You need to get real, legit NFL receivers in there.
Yeah, and Bean talked about it today. The cap, he doesn't know where the cap's going to be. The cap's going up. So that's going to help. And then you got to restructure. And they did that, the last few years where they restructure contracts, and you get a few guys in here that you need.
There's going to be a big transition on defense. Like I know, Hyde and Poyer, I would think, are gone. And then
Poyer's got one more year.
Poyer is a year
So
left.
Does he?
Yeah, he does.
They're
So
going to
Poyer's
release
going to be
him.
here.
No,
So.
that was built to basically be a 1-year contract.
Yeah,
so
he's old.
He can get out of that pretty
What
cheap.
about
Hyde's gone.
Hyde's gone.
what about Von Miller?
We'll be here, but
He's
Floyd will
here.
probably be gone.
He's getting paid way too much money. Nobody's taking him. So
And
we're stuck
Dean
with him.
said today that he said that incident with him, they feel it'll be resolved in the spring, which means they know there's pretty much there's nothing there. So I think he's going to be on the roster
They
next
should
year.
have held on to the punt god then.
The only thing you just got to wish is that
How's his hamstring?
he had this injury, and this year he's coming back. Maybe next year he's going to
Actually,
be he could be a little better. So
graded out
There'll
as a
be
high
some
did have his
motivation
best
there for sure.
defensive player.
He's going to have some juice. This will probably be his last kick at the can. So I think there'll be some motivation from Von Miller next year.
What were you saying, Brian?
He graded out as the highest defensive player for the Bills.
PFF had him
Yeah.
In the game?
in the game.
Well, the
Von Miller was the highest PFF?
Highest PFF. In
Well,
the
that's
game.
sad, especially when you had Oliver and Daquan Jones. I don't even think
That's
their names were.
disappointing.
Yeah,
Were their names even on their jerseys?
Yeah.
we didn't talk about that, but the D-line was extremely disappointing this game.
Yep.
It was the healthiest unit that you had on the defensive side of the ball, and they did zero.
But I think that's
That-
coaching. I
Sorry,
think,
Brett.
I think
Yeah.
that's
Go ahead.
coaching when it comes down to it, because you know what? Mahomes is very elusive, and he held the ball less than maybe 3 seconds.
All right, let Woody talk. I'm,
Go ahead. Sorry, Chris.
I'm
Go,
paying
go,
him
Chris.
for this
No,
No,
call.
that's fine. I just want to chime in on the defensive end thing, because if you go back to the last podcast, we said there was going to be, with the injuries that had happened, there was going to be pressure on two fronts. Josh Allen totally answered the call. No problem with what he did. The other pressure, tremendous amount of pressure was on that front five, that they were going to have to relieve some of the stress off that middle of the field by just doing enough to get Mahomes off his spot. And they failed miserably. And that's the third or fourth time year in a row in the final game that those guys that we have invested so much money in just didn't answer the call. And that is shocking to me. That was the worst part. And you could see it right away in those first two drives. You knew right away they just weren't bringing anything.
Isn't it mind crushing or soul crushing that the guy is, like you said, he doesn't run over anybody, Brendan, but yet he dances, dodges, dips, dodges, guys.
He's elusive.
Fingertips away from getting sacked all the time, and the Bills can never get him down.
So no Bills player generated more than 2 QB pressures on him and 0 sacks for Mahomes. So
Well,
it's just-
most of the defensive line are free agents. Right. Most of them. So.
Well, and two, I think that we kind of talked about this over the last few weeks, is that with the defensive line, I think we got great players on that line. They're not great pass rushers. We had multiple times where we said these guys are fingertips away from sacking guys, fingertips away from sacking guys. You got to be sacking the guys. You got to be sacking the quarterback.
Who had more sacks this year, Ed Oliver or Floyd?
Floyd.
Floyd, okay.
Yeah.
Floyd, without a doubt. I think he had the most on the team. I think he had 9.
10.5.
Or
Yeah.
10.
That's impressive. I was hoping he would
Yeah.
get that many, so that's
He was
good.
up to 10, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if they have to address anything there or just change something there, but they got to be better at getting pressures on the quarterbacks.
Is Russo going to pan out, or is he another Aaron Maben?
No.
I think he's a little better than Aaron Maben, but I think that, he's going into the final year of his rookie deal, I think. He was a first rounder, so I don't know if they picked up the option or not. He's one of those guys that just barely misses, you know?
I like Russo. Epinesa is another guy. Now his contract's up.
I wonder if
What
he'll
are you gonna do
stay.
with him? I think he had a pretty good first half of the
He
season.
should have played
kinda
more
tailed
this
off,
season.
but
He should have played more this year.
They rotate a
the
lot.
rotation.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's McDermott's system.
Yeah, and he had some good plays, but I just don't know if I don't know if he's a guy either. I don't know how well of a pass rusher he really is. He's good at tipping balls because they say he's got long arms or whatever. But
That was about Rousseau too, right? Sorry, Woody. What?
I was just saying Rousseau was definitely a product, needed to be a product of the other defensive end, which would have been Von Miller. I just think that they were so, Floyd did well in the games that they did have sacks. I did check. They ranked 4th in sacks this year in the NFL, believe it or not, the Bills the Bills defense.
I'm
so
surprised.
they did get home. It may not have looked like it. They did get home, but
Just
I
not
think
when it
Rousseau,
counted.
he's the guy that has to have somebody strong on the other side. He just doesn't typically take over games.
That was like the year with Jerry Hughes and Lorenzo Alexander, where Lorenzo had a pretty good year, productive
That was
year
like his
because
last
Jerry.
year, second last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Woody. Look into your crystal ball. You're the fortune teller. Tell us what they're going to do.
I'll be honest with you, just listening to them talk today, my gut feeling is I don't think you need to change a lot. I mean, why would you? This team gets to the playoffs. They win division titles. Look at John Elway, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees. When you got a guy like Brady and you got a guy like Mahomes, it's going to take a while to get over that hump. And I think it's coming. I don't know when it's going to happen. I think you got to stay patient and stay the course. I just don't think it's a tear down. I think you just got to plug in new pieces and hope to get lucky and healthy. That's it.
So let me ask you this. If the Bills don't do a whole lot, how can you expect different results next year if you have the same product?
If they play this game next year and Milano's in there and Bernard is in there, I think the offense shown it could move the ball in that defense, and I think you get a different result. I think it's that simple. I think if they stay healthy or are close to what these other teams are that are deep in the playoffs, there's a different result to that game, in my opinion.
Or are we just looking at another career of Marvin Lewis, where they'll just
Certainly
get there?
Possible. This could be a Marty Schottenheimer situation. The 13 seconds was an absolute Marty Schottenheimer moment. We could be 5 years from now saying that this is Sean McDermott's legacy.
Is that good enough for you as a Bills fan?
Well, I mean, look at Dan Fouts, Dan Marino. There's a ton of friggin' Hall of Fame quarterbacks who were unbelievable freak athletes at that time that never won the big one.
Jim Kelly. I mean, I guess you got to get to the big show to be able to win the big show, right?
That's true.
So, I mean, if they were to get there and lose one year, I would feel real good. Okay, right. We're almost there. We're almost there.
Do you think there's anything to, their regular season play kind of focusing on maybe trying to aim for that number 1 seed a little bit better? Like, I know obviously they don't want to lose any games.
Well, there was 4 fucking games that they should have won.
Right.
Fuckers.
So, I kind of thought about this over the last couple of days and ifs and buts, but if you get that number 1 seed, if you play a little better in the regular season, we don't, kind of say like, oh, it's just, it's week 1, whatever. It's, it's week 3, it's week 4, whatever, and you get that number 1 seed. Are you singing a different tune, playing the team, not only getting the first round bye, but then playing, a Texans team that, wasn't, was a little beat up and had rookie quarterback and didn't particularly play well in Baltimore.
You can't win the division year after year then.
Right.
Expect that. Like you got to have a step back, get an easy schedule, continue the course, go 13 whatever, go 14 whatever, get that first round bye, and now you're set up for that. Baltimore didn't win the division last year. Their schedule was a lot easier than Buffalo. It's almost like we're now. I regret the fact that we won the division over Miami.
Yeah, because you wanted to play all the worst teams
I wanted
next
to play
year.
the worst teams last year. I mean,
but look at Kansas City though. They've been winning the division for how many years?
But we don't. I know. But
they're getting the number 1 seed all the time.
I know.
This is Mahomes' first away playoff game outside of the Super Bowl.
But his division was pretty crummy, and his division has not been a strong division. It's not been the worst, but it's kind of been. It's been Kansas City and who else? I mean, they've at least. And the Bills division is pretty weak too with the Jets and the Patriots. Don't get me wrong, but I think that's the formula. And if you keep winning, you're exhausting your resources, you're exhausting your manpower to the point is where you're always going to take the seconds. You're always going to get number 2 or number 3 and hope for the best.
I think we're in a little bit of so we're obviously making the playoffs, so it's not the drought anymore, but it's like the drought from the Super Bowl at this point,
right?
Which, or
even the AFC Championship.
Yeah, in the grand scheme of things, like this is like the last 4 years is amazing for us to win the championship, or to win the AFC's championship every year and be the number 2 seed every year too. I think this is really good, but we're just like in the drought, how we were like 9-7 or whatever, 7-9. We were just good enough to be kind of good, but not real good to get a draft pick.
Right.
So now we're good, but we can't get there. So it's almost like the same thing, And I'm just looking at the schedule next year, and
I was doing the exact same thing
Hey,
just now.
how many draft picks could we get if we trade Josh Allen?
Oh,
you'd get a franchise.
No way.
You'd own the Arizona Cardinals.
Kyle wants to trade Josh Allen and bring Bill Belichick in here. That's what Kyle wants to do.
That's terrible.
Sean,
I flirted with the idea.
Anything for a fucking Super Bowl.
Right.
Anything.
Right. Bill
not
Belichick.
that.
Bill Belichick, bring him in.
Should I play the Meatloaf song? I'll do anything except for that. I'll do anything.
Let me say. Can I say this about Allen though? I mean,
a free
here's a
world.
guy that's going to be 30 or 28 years old, whatever it is, 27 years old. He's looking around at his buddies. If Lamar gets there this year, that's Lamar, Burrows, and Mahomes all there before him. How many more years is he going to stick around watching? The
He might want out of here
shit when he's playing his balls off to win a game in the playoffs. And, you can see the frustration on his face. So we'll see. The dark side of my thoughts, see him on another team in 6 years winning the Super Bowl with somebody else. He just got sick of losing here.
Woody talks about these guys all the time, about how it's the boys' club and Josh is looking up at the other ones.
Well, and my wife brought up 2 points. First, that's her biggest. One of her.
Do we
want
to call her? Do we want to call her?
We're good. She's putting out fires.
Okay.
Her biggest fear is Josh wants to leave. That's the first thing she said after the game.
He might.
Josh is going to leave, and Josh is going to win a Super Bowl on another team, and we're going to have to
in New England
endure that. Oh God,
I didn't think I could feel any worse, but now I do.
Right? No, I mean that she's terrified that Josh is going to leave and try to strike it rich within our franchise, and we said it. In our lifetime, we don't.
Is this Jack Eichel number 2?
Yeah,
I think even worse, because even Jack Eichel's draft year,
it'd be worse.
Even Jack Eichel's draft year, he wasn't the best player, right? Agreed. And you can make an argument that Josh Allen is one of, if not the top 3 in the entire league, easily. So this would be even worse than that. I'll give you one though.
Hey, is your top 3 Mahomes, Allen, and Lamar?
It's more associated related to Dominic Hasek. It would be like Dominic Hasek leaving, because you knew he was. Even I knew from a distance he was one of the greatest goaltenders I would ever see play the game.
Nothing around him.
When he left, that sunk the franchise for about a decade.
Yeah. So I had this question. Kind
and
of
firing LaFontaine.
Are the Bills' window closing for the Super Bowl?
Yes.
Is it closing?
Not as long as we have Josh.
I think they're putting an extra screen in the window. I think that's what they're doing. Because, like I talked about the transition with the defense, and I think anytime you have Josh Allen, like Burrow said, I think earlier this year, that his playing career is his window. And so the same thing is with Josh Allen, I think. But it's not going to look the same next year, I don't think. I think there's going to be a lot, like we have salary cap issues already, and just a big transition on defense. So what's going to maybe happen next year is that the defense is going to not be as good. So it's going to put us in worse positions. He's going to feel like he has to be the hero, which he definitely has been this year, and it's not going to work out, I think. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's scary to think about with kind of what we said, about Josh Allen, that he is an amazing quarterback. He has got the arm, he's got the legs. Is there concern that those legs aren't going to hold up over the years, and he's going to turn into more of just the passing Josh Allen? And how many more years do we have of this Josh Allen that we have right now?
I think that's a great question, because I think we already found out, like the first half of the year when we had Dorsey, what happens if Josh Allen doesn't run, and then what happened in the last half of the year when he does run. And I think playoffs are a little different, because I think that he just kind of took the top off and let it go. But I think you definitely saw the difference, and I think Josh Allen, for better or for worse, has to run. And so you're right. He's going to get older, as we all do, and he's going to stop running as much. And he's not Peyton Manning. He's not Tom Brady, although that kills me to say it. Mm-hmm. So he isn't going to be able to just sit back there and pick a team apart. He's got to have that ability to run a little bit at least. So we've talked about a lot of times here that we're wasting Josh Allen a little bit too.
Is he going to turn into, you got Cam Newton, he was an MVP.
Yeah.
He looked great for years. He went to the Super Bowl, and then what happened after that? After 5-6 years, he was getting killed. And he was like a shell of himself.
Yeah, you're right. I remember. I remember the Super Bowl 50. Von Miller was the MVP.
Yeah,
and you looked at Cam Newton, and you're like, oh man, he's going to be great for the next 10 years or so. And it was only a couple of years, and you're like, man, who is this guy wearing number 1 here?
Yeah,
but
I'm just hoping that's what I always think about, and I hope. Josh, but it's the same build. They're big guys.
Yep.
Even Cam Newton was a big guy, and it
Yep.
didn't work out. He got and he got crushed a lot though. He got hit a lot.
I was going to
and-
say that I would argue that Allen is a way better passer than Cam Newton ever was. Cam Newton was a great runner, and he, that his MVP season was a lot of his touchdowns were on the ground.
I agree,
but I would agree too, though, that with that, you're not going to have Allen forever. If he's 27 right now, you're hoping you got 5-6 good years, maybe at the most, of the Allen that you see right now. But if he continues to take these hits, knock on wood, he hasn't had that injury season yet, which happens to a lot of quarterbacks. So hopefully it doesn't ever happen to him. But yeah, I mean, it's.
I think
he ain't going to be like this when he's 38 years old. That's for sure.
I don't want to think about what the Bills are going to look like after Josh is done, whenever that is. Like,
Well, hopefully they follow the Green Bay Packers formula and just get another great quarterback.
You know what?
Every time you're quarterback
but we're cursed, so that ain't going to happen.
leaves. Yeah, right.
Ugh. Oh my God.
Brian, have you had interactions with Josh Allen? Is he as good as he appears? I don't want dirt. I don't want dirt on him. I'm just saying he comes across as the ultimate Buffalo Bill. He just comes across as a great human being.
Yeah, he does. Not personally, any interactions with him. Actually, my daughter's like, Dad, do you think you ever get to shake Josh Allen's hand? I was like, well, if I ever do, I'll let you know.
Never wash it. Never going to wash his hand.
We'll see it on TV.
No, I love him. He's down to earth, humble. Just
he seems too good to be true for us.
Everything that
there's some
Buffalo's all
skeletons in the
about, hard
closet
worker.
What do you think about these guys, just to change the tone a little bit? My wife and I had this conversation. What do you think about, you've probably all seen the picture, like these guys who get the tattoo of the 17 on their back? Have you seen this guy?
Yes. Yeah,
it's the full-on
jersey.
It's like the full-on jersey back.
No way.
Tattooed on their back. What do you guys think about that? Is that
name
a bit
and
much?
number?
I don't know about name. Definitely 17 and the Bills logo. I'm not sure if it says Allen or not, but I've seen it on at least two guys.
Like to scale?
Full back, full scale.
That's got to hurt like a motherfucker.
That's a little much.
It is, isn't it?
Oh my God.
That is dedication.
I had a friend of mine who got not his number, but he got his last name just like a jersey tattooed on his back.
Your friend's last name or Allen?
No, I know. No.
Whose name? His name?
His own last name, not Josh Allen.
So he made a jersey on his own back?
He didn't do the jersey. He literally, like you would have a jersey where your
like a
name's
nameplate
right across the shoulder blades. He put his last name in big bold letters.
You're gonna give us how many letters?
I gotta spell it out, but I'm not gonna reveal who it is. But
does he listen to this show?
It is crazy. It is crazy.
I thought a Kmart tattoo was crazy.
Well, how did you know they were gonna go out of business and go bankrupt forever? Kmart was gonna be here forever. Blue light special. I mean, come on.
I used to love Kmart.
I love Kmart. Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, that is crazy.
My wife and I were having that conversation.
That's got to hurt.
Yeah, because we both got our first tattoos this year, and she was like,
together.
Yeah, it was like our
our
10-year anniversary gift that we did. Like we designed like a tattoo, and it was our.
Can you show it to us, or is it a?
No, it's on my shoulder. I can show it to you.
Right.
But it's kind of like our. It's an ode to our wedding song and our wedding.
Pogues?
No, unfortunately not. The song is called Pistol. So there's a pistol there. There's our wedding flowers. There's a lyric there.
What song is this?
We can play. You want us to play it on the YouTubes?
You can if you want to. Nobody's ever heard it before.
Because it's by the Pogues.
No, it's by an artist of one of my favorite bands, but it's one of his solo songs. It's called Pistol by Dustin Kensrew. But we were just talking about tattoos and like getting other people on your body that aren't your family, something like that. Like picture people who get like Josh Allen's face on them, or if you got him to sign your arm and tattooed the autograph.
Couldn't do it.
I was just, we were having that conversation, and I was like, I kind of get it. Like, a lot of people have Bill's logo tattoos, but to one individual person, it's a bit much.
I could do the Bills tattoo. I could do that. I don't, but I could do it. But not an individual person. As much as I like Josh Allen. And I do. I have his jersey, his real jersey.
Yeah.
But never,
Got
I like that.
Because you know what'll happen? You'll get the tattoo, and he's going to get fucking traded to the Patriots or something.
I won't get a Bruins jersey unless a player's retired. I won't get a name.
I was gonna say that happened to me when I got the Jack Eichel face on my back, and then he got traded.
The curly hair Jack Eichel.
You're like Steve-O. You got like the picture across your back.
Curls. That's what hurt the most was the curls that they were coloring in on my back. It wasn't great.
Oh yeah.
Brendan, I appreciate it because that's something now I can listen to. So I like new music, so I've never heard of him, and he sounds good.
Oh, he's excellent. He's a lead singer.
Chris, can you hear this?
I like it.
Chris, can you hear the music we're playing?
I cannot hear it. No.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's a lead singer of a band
You'll
called
have to listen to
Thrice.
the
It's pretty
podcast.
heavy, but it's
What is it?
Thrice is the lead.
Oh, this is that
band.
guy? Okay.
Yeah. So he's the lead singer, but he has a lot of solo stuff that's excellent. You would like, since you're a big Miley Cyrus fan.
I am. Guilty as charged.
Wow.
He does.
Chris, you know that.
Yeah. He does a cover of Wrecking Ball that's really good.
Oh, he does. All right. Well, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe that should be our like fun segment this round is covers, like good covers.
Well, did you do any homework for the last question? I didn't send out a reminder about it.
The one that we talked about?
Yeah.
I mean, I just off the top of my head, I have like 18.
Okay. Well,
answers.
we'll get to that a little bit after we want to go a little mellow here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I would do that.
It's a lot. I would get the logo if they won a Super Bowl. You could convince me to get the logo. I always said, speaking as an Indians fan, I always said if the Indians won the World Series, which they've won 2, so they got 2 up on the Bills, 1920 and 1948. If they ever won the
it was a good game
World
that
Series,
day.
yeah, it was great roster. If they ever won, I was going to get an Indians tattoo, either Chief Wahoo or something.
Yeah.
I still might do it just to kind of buck society in the face.
So
you talk a big game. I said the same thing as I
for the Bruins.
Yes, if they ever won a championship, I'll get a tattoo right there. Totally chickened out. I never did. I'm like, nope. Maybe next time.
So besides me and Brendan, anybody else here have tattoos?
I do not.
No. I got one for my grandmother on my shoulder.
Awesome. Brendan, how would you rate the?
I have 5.
You have 5.
Well, Jack Eichel's 1.
Oh wait, 6 with Jack Eichel. Sorry.
But what about that one on your face?
Yeah, right. That's a Vander Kane. So. Can I say that? That
You
came out,
absolutely can. Yuri Krupp. I love the Yuri Krupp tattoo you have.
Yeah,
Your first one.
Yeah.
What did you think? What was your pain level on that, Brendan?
This is a good place. Very fleshy. I didn't think it was too bad.
Yeah.
The outline's fine. The shading is what hurt.
Yeah.
I would say. But it was fine.
Yeah.
My wife got her ribs done.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That had to hurt.
Is it the same tattoo?
Very similar. Yeah.
Did she enjoy that? Did she enjoy that experience? That's got to be tender.
So she got this like numbing cream, and it's like a big.
Women are always smarter.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's why they live longer.
Chris, did you know this existed?
I didn't know it existed. And to be honest with you, I don't know if it's allowed. I might throw a flag on that. I think if you're getting a
Challenge
tattoo,
flag.
you're like taking a leathered belt or like a shot of whiskey, and you're taking. I mean,
biting the bullets.
If it was a woman, I guess, but if a guy does that, I'm questioning manhood card there. I'm pulling the manhood card on him.
So she said that it definitely helped in the beginning of the tattoo, but by the time they were doing the shading, she was feeling everything.
It wore off, yeah.
But she's a trooper. She's had 3 kids, no epidural, so she has a pain,
Which we learned in a previous episode.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll
I was going to say, I think I said
flag.
this before. But like this, it's funny. This numbing cream has very specific like instructions, and it's like you put it on X number of hours or minutes before you're getting the tattoo. You wrap it up in plastic wrap, so it's like really seeping in there, and then you wash it off right before you get the tattoo. And she's like, "Are you going to use any?" And I was like, "I don't know, maybe." And so I didn't do any of that.
Is that her
She's doing
first?
this thing. It was her first,
Okay.
also. So I just grabbed it and just like slathered it on, like, and it did nothing.
Oh, so you guys did this at home before you went, or did they give it to you?
No, it was a home thing. But I did it like
You guys are giving each other home tattoos?
No, like
Garage Inc.
The cream was at home.
Okay, all right.
But I think I put the cream on at the tattoo shop, and it did.
How's
it was
that?
nothing.
How's
It
that
did
movie
zero.
go? Puts the cream on the skin.
Puts the lotion in the basket.
Silence of the Lambs.
Oh, we take the dark turn.
1991 Best Picture. Silence of the Lambs.
We've gotten into Zabil's After Dark.
After
already.
Dark.
Yes, we did.
right.
I asked because I have one on each shoulder. Those weren't bad. I've got this one like on my elbow ditch or whatever you want to call that here. Fucking killed.
It's your armpit of your elbow.
Elbow,
your elbow
not
pit.
your weenus. The opposite of weenus.
I gotta bring this full circle. You know who that character is in the movie, right?
Buffalo Bill.
Buffalo Bill.
Yeah. See, everything comes back.
Yeah.
So this one absolutely killed. I got one on my chest that got on my collarbone, and that one wasn't bad on the chest, but as soon as I got on the collarbone, it hurt.
Yeah.
The two on my calves. Folks, I don't want to be too graphic.
Green Kmart.
Yep. And a Pete's Wicked Ale. Okay? Get wicked tonight. Those two on my calf hit a nerve that shot right up to my anus. It was absolutely excruciating, puckering up the entire time like, oh my God, it feels like they're tattooing my butthole.
They charge you extra for that?
So
or
you
they
liked
did-
it.
They didn't. That was a bonus. That was a freebie. I couldn't believe it.
He paid extra for
I
it.
paid, yeah. I was like, holy cow, that's terrible. So, folks, if you're thinking about getting them on your legs,
No one's ever going to get a tattoo.
don't get them on your calves. And if,
Listen, I have one on my
face.
calf, and I don't ever remember my anus coming into the
Seriously?
conversation.
Like same, I don't know if you've checked out my legs or not. I'll have to look at your leg next time, see if
I
there
have not,
are similar
yeah.
spots. Or like, you talking about calf or like shin?
No,
Oh,
it was on my
God.
calf, the back of my leg.
Oh, man.
But
All right,
I
well-
mean, maybe they might have missed the nerve.
My physiology might be different than yours. Extra muscles.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Woody.
Boy, you have bigger muscles, not me. I'm giving you credit, not me. If that's you're saying me,
Oh,
no.
thanks. Hey, did you have a funny song, parody, goofy comedy song that you can think of that comes to your head while I have you on here? And I can play it later.
I mean, outside of like the Weird Al songs that he did when we were kids, like watching those, like he would do one every couple of years.
Like a
and when
Dennis.
it would come out, you'd be like, "This is like brilliant and amazing." I mean,
Well-
that was the form of our entertainment in our teen years and our adolescent years. Whenever Weird Al came out with one of those spoofs of like a pop song.
Yeah, I was thinking something like Dennis Leary's "Asshole" song or something like that.
was good too.
Something like
Oh,
that.
I got you. Yeah.
I didn't know if you had anything.
That's a good one.
No, I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Sorry.
Next time I'll have to remind the group before we do
no
it.
doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll save it for another week.
All right. Woody, you got anything else before we cut you free?
Yeah, no, I'm good to go. One last time, go Bills. I put my hoodies away and my sweats, my Zubad pajama pants, and I'm like, when can I put these on again? I'm kind of feeling bad about that. We got to dress all day at work tomorrow, and probably won't be a Bills hoodie.
You know what? Next time we have a Bills therapy session next week, we'll go. I got an idea about that, but you can wear them then.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, listen, appreciate the time, guys.
Thanks for your time.
Hope everybody
Thanks,
has a
Chris.
good week, and look forward to be back on the show next week.
All right. See you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris.
All right, take care, guys.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See you.
See you, Chris.
Okay. Now he's gone. Let's talk shit about him.
Let's start with the Jack Eichel. No, I'm liking Chris. You're great. Jack Eichel tattoos.
That's funny.
hysterical.
That was
That's
Never
funny.
like that guy. It's not going to be on here, right? It's not gonna be
Okay. So I have this funny.
We got Corey's.
Hey, this is Corey's
girl,
song.
Ginger.
I thought I
playing right
recognized
now.
that girl from somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Corey's
The Screamer.
crazy,
I don't know.
demonic
Brian, have you ever?
band.
Oh, hold on.
Was it Pisces? No.
Brian, have you ever heard of this band?
Pisces.
Who is it?
Corey, here's a bonus for you.
Yeah.
You were saved by the Pogues, or we were gonna be merciless with you with this girl.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is the end, but it looks like it might pump up
It's
like here
the
again.
middle where she goes crazy. There it is.
I didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
No one
No one
That's what we
did.
said.
Absolutely, no one did. Okay, so if you're a '90s kid, you've probably heard this song. We don't support. Dude, every time I watch something on YouTube now, it's all about these mood gummies.
How awesome are the mood gummies when I'm trying to play a clip in the classroom? And all those.
Oh,
things
so you
come
know what
up.
I'm talking about?
Oh, it's brutal. It's like dive in front of the screen.
Did you? So this one's about. This is the erotica
Yep.
gummies. Did you
Yeah.
play that in
Oh,
the class?
yeah. No, I played the one where he took the sleeping gummy and she took the erotic one. It was fantastic.
Okay,
I never
so,
knew there was such a thing. What do they mix
Oh, yeah.
Viagra and weed together or something?
All right, so if you're a 90, Jeff, Brian, you might have heard this song. It's a random
Pure
90s
Beavis
song
and Butthead
on
fan.
Sirius XFM. You know the song?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
From Beavis and Butthead. That's how I know. They
All
did
right.
this, and yeah.
Jeff, you know the song?
I don't think so. I got to listen to it more.
Dennis or Brendan, do you know it?
I've heard it.
Okay.
I've never heard this song.
All right, the lyrics are probably ridiculous.
Just listen.
This happens all the time. It's detachable. This comes in handy a lot of the time. I can leave it home when I think it's.
I have never heard this.
Never?
No.
Yeah, I've never heard this either.
But now and then I go to a party, get drunk, and the next morning I can't, for the life of me, remember what I did with it. First I looked around
Never.
my
I've never heard of
apartment
it.
and I couldn't find
All right, well, folks, this is called Detachable Penis by King Missile. Look it up on your own. Okay. All right, anybody else got one?
Well, mine. Sorry if I stepped on your toes
No,
there.
go for it.
Mine would be the Hanukkah song by Adam Sandler.
Oh, love it.
Great one.
It's
That's a real
it's a
good
good one. The whole OJ thing.
Oh, yeah.
Not a
It was
Jew.
getting better.
Both versions. Both versions very good.
Yeah.
We're gonna sing a song right now that you might know the words to. So if you want to sing along, that would
There's
be
so
fun.
many good
Here we
Adam
go.
Sandler songs too. The one I was going to bring up is an Adam Sandler song as well.
Yeah, there are. I personally liked him more than Weird Al.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
If you haven't seen his Farley take, his Farley song is very good.
That was good. That was like emotional. Though.
Yeah, it's not funny.
Yeah,
but
that
it's
got
really
me big
good.
time. Yeah.
What is your favorite Adam Sandler bit off any of his CDs?
Oh, the goat's pretty good. I don't know if it's my
The
favorite,
goat one
but
is good.
The goat just stands out for me.
Yeah.
I think Tobuth Willie is one of my favorites.
That is excellent.
All the
Both of those.
freaking swears this guy coming out.
I think you got to be a '90s kid to realize that comedians actually had CDs.
Oh yeah.
Like it just doesn't happen anymore.
When I had mentioned this to Kyle, I said, I think this would be a good segment, and I had an Adam Sandler cassette tape that I really loved, and I also had an Eddie Murphy cassette tape with some good songs on it too.
He had the more than one good song.
He had a CD.
He had that one. Oh,
or a CD, cassette
comedy.
tape, whatever. Yeah, it was a
not
comedy
a song.
one.
Not a song.
I think there was songs on it, but
He has that one song.
it was mostly comedy.
Okay.
For the '90s, I was a big Jerky Boys. You know, I had all those. I had all those CDs.
So you
were-
know who Frank Rizzo
I do
was when
know
he called in
Frank
last
Rizzo.
week?
I listened to them. They were the best.
You know what we need? We need the Adam Sandler for we need the Adam Sandler of the NFL on our team.
That would be good. Good addition.
God, imagine if you had a player like a Debo Samuel on that team with Allen and Cook, like the Niners. You know, God, imagine if they had Josh Allen on their team.
Right.
Debo and McCaffrey and
there's always an element
a
of
stellar
luck.
defense.
You gotta be lucky. That's the hardest part of sports is you gotta have luck on your side.
We got lucky because Cleveland and the Jets didn't pick them.
Yeah.
Right.
How do you think they feel?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about that last week that, we're really lucky to have Josh Allen. We could add Josh Rosen. We could have had.
I wanted Josh Rosen.
Yeah, I wanted Josh Rosen.
I admitted that too. I admitted
so
that I wanted
Josh Rosen.
Yeah.
So why did
the same
I really did.
why did you guys want him over Josh Allen?
Because he had a resume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I saw him play, and he looked better to me than I
Yeah.
didn't really see Josh Allen play a lot in Wyoming. So
I'm
I was
gonna
like,
go with
who is this guy?
Yeah, 80% of Americans can't point to Wyoming on a map. So I think that's part and partial why Josh, who? Really, I know he was somewhat hyped, but who knows with Wyoming or a program that exists there.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you see they had 2 shovelers come in from Wyoming?
Yes.
And then they got stuck here, so they shoveled again. And then Brian Mormon gave them tickets to the game.
I heard that. They
It
showed
must have been
that.
like a father and a son.
Yeah, they showed that. Yeah.
There's so many Bills fans now. Just to Bills Mafia is huge.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
to make it even bigger, I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't know if you went back far into our catalog of episodes, but we had Del Reed on here one night.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, West guy.
Yep.
Do you guys know anybody
the
who
West.
went and did the shoveling?
I personally do not know anyone that went and shoveled.
I couldn't get out of my driveway, so
He couldn't shovel his ass out to get over there.
I was going to say you probably did enough shoveling yourself. You wouldn't want to shovel, a billionaire's house out.
Pretty much.
I'm going to say that you do know someone?
I do. That was a little toss-up to myself. So I...
Alley-oop.
Previous employer of mine, I'll remain nameless, but he's now retired, and he's not like old or anything, but he just retired, and he's kind of living his life now. And he, for whatever reason, went out to the stadium. I don't know if he did it for just the experience or to help out the team, be a good Bills Mafia member, whatever. So he posted this on Facebook about his experience, and we had talked about this, that the $20 an hour is kind of a slap in the face, and you got a billionaire owner, like, can't you get these, custom snowblowers we talked about last week and stuff like that. So I just
they get lunch with it too.
Oh, it's in here. It's in here.
What kind of lunch? I'll wait and find out.
I just heard that. I don't know what they get.
I just thought this recap was hilarious, and it's not long, so I'll just read it real quick. And he said that, my career as a professional stadium snow removal expert has come to an abrupt end after 6.5 grueling hours on Friday. God. He said it was kind of fun, but I'm very sore the next day, and the food they served was awful. Hot Pockets.
No way.
No way.
That's what he said.
Got to play Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Got to play Gaffigan.
Yeah.
Hot Pockets.
Yep. He said, I was tempted by an abandoned 12-inch sub that was unburied in the snow since Monday, unopened, but thought better of it and sent it down the conveyor with the rest of the snow. I was on the crew that cleared 3 sections of the stadium in temperatures that started in the low 20s and was down to 10 degrees when I finished at 1 a.m.
Oh, God.
The worst part was standing in a line mostly outside in the freezing cold for 4 hours just to get processed before shoveling. And they only had 3 people taking down payroll information and checking IDs. So shout out Rick Cohen for that information. But the experience sounds like what I expected.
So wait a minute. He was there for 10 hours? 4 hours in line?
10.5.
6 hours of shovel.
Yeah, to get, so if they're paying you $20 an hour, that's maybe $130. And if they have payroll information, maybe they tax you on it too. So,
So he didn't get paid to stay in line, right?
I don't believe so. I don't know how how you prove how long you were actually there.
Well,
so,
right. Yeah.
So, but just crazy. But I found that amusing. I, would never go and do it myself. And have you ever been asked to do the snow shoveling or anything like that as a quote unquote employee of the Bills or what?
No, we got called in early to remove the tarp, both games. So I'm typically there 8 hours. We usually get there, like, if it's a 1 o'clock game, get there by 10, and we clock out by 6 or so. But
you get paid $20 an hour.
No. We get minimum wage. What's minimum wage now? Yeah. What is it? Did it just go up?
Come on, you're kidding. You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not kidding.
I know.
I'll do this for free. I love this. I do it for free, but I'll take the money. I lost my train of thought. They called us in, to pull the tarp. So we did 12-hour shifts for both games. In the first one, I was exhausted just from doing that. But so no, we never got called to shovel, but to come in, help set it, like take the tarp off, set up the field, and do all that stuff.
Brian, I got to go. I actually got to leave in a little bit, but I've got a burning question that we've debated back and forth.
Okay.
Is the Buffalo Bills football field heated or not heated underneath?
No,
it's not heated.
I thought I heard on the broadcast that it's one of the only non-heated field in the entire NFL, or one of few.
I'll say no, it's not heated, and there was no hot water turned off.
Contrary, in the locker room,
contrary to what one of the Chiefs players said, and the reason I'm saying it is because that's why they're building a new stadium across the street.
They're building a new stadium.
That this facility is just not bad, not good in the locker room.
Yeah, it needs a lot of updates.
It's the away team. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
You won. Take a cold shower.
Enjoy yourself. Yeah. We'll get you back that way. Well, gentlemen, I got to run. Duty calls. Jeffrey, it was a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely, Brian. Thank you for your insight, Brendan.
Sean.
Brendan.
Great.
Brendan. I'm going to say it.
Oh, it's all good.
Absolutely. Danny and Kyle, thank you so
See you
much,
later.
guys. Continue on.
Hey, go Bills.
Go Bills.
Thank
Za Bills After Dark. Proceed.
Yeah.
We talked about Brian Mormon. I just wanted to give a shout out to my brother, Jim.
Yeah.
Criddle. So he's had season tickets for a while. He parks right in front of Big Tree Inn. So some pictures he sent me. He was with Jason Kelsey.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
And then we talked about with Brian Mormon. So I thought it was kind of cool, especially with Jason Kelsey. My brother's not a small guy, and Kelsey looks. I mean, he's just humongous. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sean, come here. You need a poster, or are you all set and stuff? All right.
Yeah, it seemed like Kelsey really did the whole Mafia experience.
He did.
Saw all the videos out with Bill's Mafia doing the bowling ball shot, and even though he's cheering for the Chiefs, he took his shirt off. Was doing the fat man thing, which I like to see.
He went
and
in the stands.
Yeah. So I like that guy, and fuck Travis Kelsey, but Jason Kelsey, you're all right, my boy.
I agree 100%.
Well, did you see that other video of him picking up that girl with the Swift sign?
Yeah.
I don't know if she actually came close to her.
I think there's
he was right in the
girls.
window. I mean, yeah.
What?
There's multiple. He picked up a few little girls.
Oh.
But I didn't see like Taylor Swift. It didn't seem like she even kind of came down or did anything.
they hit her.
Or she's just
I think
looking in the
he
corners
tried.
Waving. I thought she would have maybe came down a little bit.
I don't know.
Yeah, signed the poster or something.
Yeah, right.
So did
Sell
they?
that bad
so
boy
did
on
they,
eBay.
So did they have cops just in front of that suite, or because he was out, like he got?
No.
Oh, I bet.
We had my brother somehow found out that she was going to be in this suite below Marvin Levy's name on the wall.
Oh yeah.
And then like an hour before the game, there was 3 sheriffs standing right there at that suite. And I looked at him like, how the hell did you know that? He's like, but just had some inside info. Sure as heck, that was the suite she was in.
All right.
And it was just crazy seeing the people like coming into the stadium. They usually come to watch the warm-ups, and there was like 200 people just looking at that window.
Right.
Unreal what she brought with her.
Was it a good suite, or was it like the shitty Tequila Spikes suite?
It was a little better than the Spikes.
I was hoping they would get rid of that shitty
obstructive
one.
View.
Yeah.
I did see that. Someone tweeted that.
Yeah.
This should be her suite
With the balcony blocking half the field.
But I mean, it wasn't midfield or anything. It was in the end zone, so it wasn't the greatest line of sight.
Did you recognize half the people that were in that suite with her?
No, I mean, I know Brittany Mahomes just from all like the dumb shit that she's done with his brother and stuff like that, and all the stupid tweets and whatever. So I knew her, but like I don't know, she's got like some guy in there who's always seems to be in the suites with her, and all these other girls. I saw a tweet or a picture where it said it was the first time she had like hung out with Jason Kelsey's wife or something like that. Which whatever. But, whatever.
I don't know. I heard she rented out the entire Roycroft.
I heard that as well.
That was true?
And Lucia's on the lake. She also...
Oh, Lucia's.
Yeah, Lucia's. Lucia, whatever.
How long was she here? For like
a
24
day?
hours?
Probably
If
the night.
that.
Yeah, the night. I mean,
Yeah.
Lucia's is excellent, though. So
I heard it's like on standby waiting list for... I went to try to get a reservation once, and the only reservation I get was like at 10 p.m.
Yeah, I've eaten there many times.
Many.
Oh yeah, it's a big family staple, that restaurant. Everybody's like, oh, we had to celebrate something. We went to Lucia's. So it's nice because they're on open table. You can do it online, but yeah, you're booking it a month out. Or I like to, if I'm trying to go there and I know I don't have the kids or something, I'll set like an alert from Open Table. They can send you notifications if like tables free up.
Oh.
And they'll be like, oh, hey, heads up, there's a table open at 5 p.m.
Oh.
Unfortunately, you get that message at like 4 p.m.
The day of?
Yeah.
Is that the restaurant that you have to like make reservations like months ahead of time?
Yeah.
Lucia's. It's very popular. It's on Route 5
I've
down
heard
in...
of
it's right in Athol Springs, I think.
Yes, it
is.
is.
Where it is.
Right before you get into Wanaka.
Yeah, so the Lisp town, I like to call it Athol Springs.
Mike Tysonville? Yeah. Jeff, you're writing a lot of stuff. What you got anything good on there?
Not really.
What do you mean, not really?
Lunch Ladyland. is one of the.
Oh yeah,
ones,
that's
though.
what we were
Yeah,
just
that's
talking about. Yeah,
That was one of the songs I wrote down.
yeah. While Kyle brings that up, when you talked about Beavis and Butthead, it made me think about the Josh Allen commercial for Paramount. Did you see the one with Beavis and Butthead?
big,
Where he
right?
throws it and it hits him in the nuts.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, it was awesome.
My son Colin was dying. He
He
loved it.
that was a great commercial, much better
It
than
was.
the Transformer one. I thought.
Yeah. So I missed the homework assignment here. I'm a slacker. What was exactly the assignment?
Oh, nothing was sent
I
out.
didn't know it either. So
Yeah, Kyle and I just kind of talked about
yeah,
it.
just
Anyone else?
Yeah,
I just
Just
thought
like
of it.
a funny, crazy song.
yeah.
We like to try to.
Does it have to be from the 90s?
No, it's gonna be anything.
No.
I got one after
Okay,
this.
all right.
But it's more appropriate to something we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woke up in the morning.
This is great for the lunch ladies. I know you like them sloppy.
Serve some reheated Salisbury steak with a little slice of love. I got no clue what the chicken pot pie is made of.
Favorite Sandler movies.
Doing fine down here in
It's tough.
I watched Uncut Gems.
It was pretty good.
It was good
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
for his
Yeah.
serious movie.
Yeah, serious.
I heard it was good.
I was like, oh man, that ending I did not.
I mean, I grew up when he was in his prime doing movies. So Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy,
Wedding Singer.
Wedding Singer. Even 50 First Dates is kind of an
that was
underrated
good,
Adam
yeah.
Sandler movie. I kind of like it.
See, I love Billy Madison, but I think that Wedding Singer has to be my favorite Adam Sandler movie.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like Happy Gilmore. I'm a golfer, and it's hilarious.
Brendan, are you still playing that movie guessing game I sent you? Do you play it at all? Every day?
Sometimes. Not every day, but sometimes.
Well, today's was that Saltburn.
Oh, really?
And I'm like...
Was he licking the bathtub?
No, none of those scenes were in it. I'm like, what the hell? And then at the end, I'm like, oh, well, if they would have seen a couple of the two things.
Yeah, if you haven't
Is this the
watched
same
Saltburn,
Lunch Lady song or a different one?
No, this is the right one. But
Oh, here we go.
there's a Lunch Lady skit though.
Okay.
Which is no, it's in Billy Madison, where he's like, I made sloppy joes for you. I know you like them sloppy.
There we go. Here we go.
Quit it, lady. You're scaring us.
Farley is so good in this. This is when Saturday Night Live was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
The cast, on this was hard to rival.
Yeah.
Another great human that taken too early.
Yeah, I'm a huge Chris Farley fan.
Yep.
What did I do to make you all so mad? You got flabby arms and your breath is bad. Then the green bean said you better run and hide. But then my friend Sloppy Joe came and joined my side. He said,
Kevin Nealon.
Kevin Nealon.
Is that Sarah Silverman behind him right? Yep. Looks like her. Maybe not.
Is it?
Right behind Adam?
Oh,
yeah, that's her. That's her.
It looks like her, yeah.
I actually didn't even know she was on Saturday Night Live with those
I think
guys.
a very short
Really?
stint. Or she was a writer.
Yeah, it's definitely her.
Ellen Cleghorn.
The other skit I like from Sandler on Saturday Night Live, Canteen Boy. When he's the Boy Scout, but he's like 30 years old.
Yeah. Brian, what's yours?
So you guys Parks and Recs fans?
Yeah.
Like, I heard that they want to name the nickname for the new stadium is the Pit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, what better theme song can you have for the Pit than the Mouse Rat, the Pit? And like,
I don't think I know it.
people have fallen into the Pit.
Yeah.
So it's like
what I thought was
seems like
crazy.
it'd be meant to
they
be.
were talking so much about this sacrifice, and we got I thought
Yep,
there was
that's
going to be
it. Top one.
at least 10 people in the pit.
is this
going
Pratt?
in there.
Oh, yeah.
But
Yeah.
I didn't hear anybody. I don't
Yeah.
think I heard anybody going in there.
Well, Kyle was saying it was pretty locked down, and he's a well-traveled vet going into the pit delivering.
Where's my dirt?
Yeah.
I like it.
We should have played this last week when we were talking about it. This is on point. This is excellent.
That's what the guy looked like at the stadium.
Just covered in shit.
Yeah.
The first guy.
So disturbing.
What's the girl's name with the brown hair?
Rashida Jones, I thought.
Yeah, she was on this. She did a little stint on The Office. Yeah. Pratt was so good on this show, though. Like I could just watch like outtakes of him from this show, like when he's talking about Seabiscuit and like the comeback, and he's talking about Kardashian.
Everybody's in stitches around him, but he's still going. That was great.
And there's another scene where like they're doing some scene, and he throws something, and he like actually hits like the light switch on the set, and it like breaks the entire thing, and like the lights go out, and he's just like, oh, props can't fix that.
It kind of reminds me of where Adam Sandler was just with Farley, and when he does those skits, and everybody's dying laughing, and he just keeps going.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. And that makes it more funny. Just seeing that.
You know what's funny is the MVB commercial where Andy Reid at the very end of that starts like cracking. It's funny. Did you give one, Jeff?
I did. I did the lunch lady.
Oh, okay.
We had mentioned The Wedding Singer. The song he does in The Wedding Singer is great when he's like talking about the girl that he's getting over. And he comes up with that song.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called, but I'm sure if you Wedding Singer Adam Sandler
it'll pop up.
It'll be probably
the one where John Lovitz is laughing at the end.
Yes,
right?
yes. And he's like, he's losing his mind.
The father yells.
And I'm reaping all the benefits.
The father yells at him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I came up with a song. You want to hear it?
Okay, I just want to warn you that when I wrote this song, I was listening to The Cure a lot. So. Okay. Here we go. You don't know how much I need you while you're near me. I don't feel blue.
And ironically, this haircut is back in. If you're a hockey player, this haircut is what you want now.
Oh, the lettuce.
Oh yeah.
Or the mullet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I got a mullet in this house.
But it all was bullshit. It was a goddamn joke. And when I think of you, Linda, I hope you fucking choke. I hope you're glad with what you've done to me.
The YouTube user that's letting me watch this, shout out to Slum Canadian. Thank you. Who has 20,000 subscribers.
It's so funny this guy made a career off of this voice. Like he does this goofy voice.
Yeah.
And it's like just like childish. And he's made a career off of it.
He plays the guitar pretty well though.
Oh yeah. And this is great by Drew Barrymore right here.
I liked it. Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
And then he does that weird curtain closing.
That's great. And well, the other one that I had that was relevant to the pod.
Not this one.
Good song though.
It is a good song.
Not.
Yeah, you guys know that song?
What is it? Yes.
The Zombies Associate, or here, I'll play it for a second. I'll play it for a second.
Well, no one told me about.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a great tune.
And this was off of one of his comedy albums or cassettes, The Lonesome Kicker. If you never heard this song, it is excellent for Tyler Bass to probably listen to right now, actually.
And we didn't talk too much about that he had to delete all his social media.
I
think that's kind of.
I did not hear that. Explain this to me.
Yeah, he
it was been out there the last few days that he had to get off all the social media and delete
death threats.
Because of a lot of the fans.
But now Bill's Mafia is doing what Bill's Mafia does and contributing to his fundraiser. So now all these cats are all getting money, I guess. So it does.
I will not be donating.
I will not either. No,
I agree with that.
My cousin is a big
because he missed a kick or because it's for cats. Because I know you hate animals.
Both.
Either way.
Both. Yeah. my cousin posted this thing and it basically says it's really unacceptable that people are giving him death threats for this. It's just a game, blah, blah, blah. And you should donate to this 10 Lives Club or whatever to save cats or whatever.
Oh, is that on Route 5? 10 Chances next to the strip club?
It might be.
In the Fort Stanley
I don't
plant?
know, maybe. But yeah.
It's all pink down there.
Yeah. It is all pink.
The building's
down there.
pink. The building's pink. The building is pink.
You might have to isolate that.
No, I'll leave it.
Yeah, but basically I said, that's true. I don't wish, I don't think that anybody should be receiving death threats from, what happens in a game. It's meaningless. But that guy sucks. Fuck him.
I agree. I agree 100%. There we go.
I thought he was going to get the Leotis McKelvin treatment, and somebody was going to just paint obscenities on his lawn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's
the snow. The snow.
We were talking about this earlier, and I wanted to mention this. He had a really good the last 2 years. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then this year he has been terrible.
Yeah, he's been kicking knuckleballs
Downfall.
for 2 months.
Yeah.
28th in the league. 28th ranked kicker.
When did he get this extension? Was this the first year of it or second?
I think it was
he
the
signed
second
a 4-year
year.
deal,
I don't think it was the beginning
Maybe,
of this year.
maybe that's the thing. He should extend his leg more.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think it is second.
All right. I was gonna that curtain call with the Lovitz. I'm like, oh, that's a great segue to end the show,
is.
but we're gonna continue. All right. I don't think I've heard this.
If you've never heard it, the lyrics are on point.
I'm the lonesome kicker.
Jeez.
Extra points, field goals at your service.
I don't know how old he is in this. This is mid to early 90s.
I've never. Thank you, Johnny Whalecock, for sharing this. 1.01 thousand subscribers. Nice work.
My helmet is equipped with a tiny face mask.
Oh, this is on the What's Your Name album.
Yes.
What it possibly could protect, I do not know.
I don't know if I own that one.
I have that one.
The other guys on the team like to make fun of my little shoulder pads. And also like to hide the special shoe I need to kick in the snow. People think it's so easy to kick a field goal from the 30-yard line.
Is this
Topical.
Is this a Bruce Springsteen inspired song?
I think so, because he really gets into it right here.
Are pushed way back. In 1974, the uprights were right on the goal line, but some of the players were running into them and getting hurt. Who cares about the kicker?
Here's the Bruce part.
But I kicked that ball and I pray it goes straight. If it does, the coach says good job, number 8.
I hope they don't show it.
If it does, I'm cutting that out.
I love that part where he's just like, the coach doesn't even know my name.
Everybody blames me, but it was the left guard who didn't pick up this man. Oh, why can't they
Jerome Bettis. Wow.
That's Jerome Bettis.
That's crazy.
I could have been a
minor league soccer player. But I came to America seeking fortune and seeking fame. I didn't realize that if I shagged one because my toe hurt, some drunk guys would push me into their hibachi after the game. So I go home at night, 'cause I never get invited to go drinking with the other guys. And I sit in my chair and I soak my foot as I eat a plate of cold French fries. And my wife's out with her quote-unquote friend, and my son can't look me in the eyes. But that's the life I live, the lonesome kicker. Kicking for you. They took my snowshoe.
Cordell Stewart. I was about to say.
They're going
That part. You're going for two.
Look at how long his name is on the back of his jersey.
Yeah.
I like that. I've never heard that.
So props to Tyler Bass. That's tribute to you.
And Johnny Whalecock for sharing this video. All right. Well, that being said, why don't we have a little ice cream and say goodnight here?
Sounds
all right. Folks, we'll catch you on the next one, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Go Bills.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Za Bills Podcast is a presentation of Kmart Productions, sponsored by Daza Chiropractic and Empire Towing and Recovery. Thank you for listening, and if you haven't, please follow, rate, review the show. It helps with the algorithm. Za Bills is executively produced by me, Kyle. Executive sound engineering by yours truly, also me. Fundraising, also by Kyle. All artwork executively produced by Avery and Mark Rochon. What the heck is this? All music and lighting executively produced by Kyle. That's more like it.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. Please drive carefully, arrive home safely. Good night. Yeah, baby. Yeah.